Amazing, astounding, sensational.
Hello and welcome back, you dumpster divers, to the podcast that features a white guy, a black guy, and you don't know, most likely, either of who they are. I am your token white guy, Ed Bobbincheck, welcoming you back to Movie Garbage, and joined by my black friend, Matthew Lewis.
Oh, no. Here's what I said when I had to watch this movie.
I don't know probably what you said.
Yeah, exactly. I said, oh, no, with a New Zealand accent. A little bit more literal than an Australian one. God, I did not expect that going into this movie.
I didn't know that either. We did Bad Taste.
Oh, yeah.
Which, as you said just before we started recording, perfect subtitle. Movie Garbage, Bad Taste.
Yeah, exactly. I recognized this movie cover from like blockbusters and stuff, way back in the day. I recognized
it a long time ago.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. The movies. When did it come out?
87.
87. Yeah, because it felt like I've seen that weird, like those weird alien monsters that they give away in the cover.
I was bummed by that.
Yeah, same. I was like, oh, that's disappointing. They had him for so long in the movie, but yeah, I recognized that visual of that box cover of the movie. It was so familiar to me. I was just like, oh, that's what the hell that movie is. I don't know.
You had never seen it though?
Oh no, I never seen it, but I've seen the cover before. Definitely, I recognized it. But yeah,
looking at the cover and what I had seen a little bit of, and even watching the trailer before I watched it, did not prepare me at all for this movie.
No, absolutely not.
Basically, the trailer is all the second half of the movie, and it tells you nothing about the front half.
I seriously, when it started, I had no idea. I completely kept myself completely blind going into it, and I was like, oh, what is this gonna be? This is gonna be weird and gross or bizarre. I was very right.
Yeah, I definitely knew it was gonna be gross, especially when I saw that this is a Peter Jackson movie.
Oh yeah, early Peter Jackson.
This is not just early Peter Jackson. This is the literal, first thing that he did. This movie took 4 years to shoot.
Really?
They filmed it on weekends.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
If you look at the credits, too, you'll see that the actors are also the film crew. And so a lot of the actors also did, Peter Jackson did makeup as well on it.
And he was in it, yeah.
Yeah, he was in it 2 times.
I recognized him immediately.
He literally was 2 different characters. I did not.
I assume he was in the Alien.
He was Derek, and he was Robert. He was the one that had been caught in the opening, the one who gets the scream.
Yeah, I saw, he was the guy being tortured. I know that was him, yeah, but he was a different character.
Derek.
Who's Derek?
The dude who does the hammering there. The really weird dude.
Oh, the guy with the glasses guy?
Yeah.
His brains coming out the whole movie?
Yes, that
really?
guy. That was him.
I didn't recognize him at all in that character. I recognized him as the guy with the thing being hammered in the foot, though.
Yeah, it was filmed over years difference.
That makes sense then, because he looked so... I 100%. I was like, oh, I'm going to be so smart. I'm going to go in knowing that the main secondary guy or whatever, the main alien guy was definitely Peter Jackson. I had no idea he was playing the glasses dude.
Which, that character was just...
Also, yeah, I didn't write down anyone's name throughout the whole movie.
I only learned his name because he says a line where he says his name twice in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's... And he said it so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember... I think Frank was another name.
I think I thought they were calling him Bear, but I think they were saying Barry or Brian. I wasn't sure, but it was
I don't even know.
It was a guy with the mustache. I just said looks like if you're familiar with the Completionist crew, looks like Alex Fasciani from the Completionist.
I think really him, yeah.
Yeah, it looks exactly like him with short hair. I was like, is that looks like his granddad or something? It's so weird.
Yeah. So fun thing too about this movie, the initial cost of it was $25,000.
Wow. Yeah, they put that all on screen.
But the New Zealand Film Commission invested about $235,000 New Zealand dollars into it to ensure its completion.
Wow, that is
influenced by Tom Savini's. That's why there's a lot of pretty gory.
Yeah, well, the effects. Yeah.
Which there was a kill that I'm like, oh wait, that looked like the machete kill from Dawn of the Dead. So
Tom Savini is wonderful. But yeah, this movie was definitely special effect forward. I was gonna say general opinion wise, I hated this movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, I felt like it was a deep punishment after I chose Justice League.
See, I thought it was the Justice League movie I wanted it to be.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of similarities to it for me, but I enjoyed it.
Actually, bizarrely enough, there was this movie really reminded me of something. It's a very not common plot, but it's a pretty understandable thing in fiction. But the last X-Men movie before New Mutants, Dark Phoenix. is literally this movie. It's like, it's shape-shifting aliens come to Earth, but they're trying to get the Phoenix instead of eating people. And they're like, it's literally like infiltrating them, and it's a big, giant, like, long-ass, drawn-out fight at the end. And I'm just like, I wish I was watching that dumb bad movie instead of this gross bad movie.
And I loved this movie.
I figured you loved it. I absolutely figured. I was like, it's going to love this movie, but oh, God, this is not for me.
You want to hear the weirdest thing, though? So this movie came out in 1987, right?
Yeah. Did they start shooting in 80?
It took about 4 years. So, yeah, it was 82, 83 probably it started.
Yeah.
So, 87. 14 years later, he was doing Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, only 14 years. Wow. That's
But,
a step up.
You literally went from, like, the lowest budget, whatever, that it literally took the government to help you make it, to one of the most,
one of the first, gigantic
massive franchise.
Yeah.
And he's done all 6 films.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's insane that he, I was going to say, between this, I know Meet the Feebles is another gross out, puppet-based movie he did. I never seen it.
Same.
But I don't want to see it. But I was saying, Dead Alive, which we both really liked.
Yes, that movie is so good.
Between that and...
Is he the main character in that? Now that I've seen this.
I don't, now that he was that guy with the glasses the entire movie, I had no clue. He might have been the protagonist of that too, I have no idea. Because that was a complete transformation. I'm so blown away by that. Yeah. But between those 3 movies, did he do something else to make him approachable for Lord of the Rings between them? Because I can't imagine them seeing.
Bad Taste was 87.
Yeah.
Meet the Feebles was 89. He had some involvement, but nothing in his big roles. He didn't act, direct, or produce. Wurzel Gumridge Down Under. There's a short film called Valley of the Stereos he produced. Then there's Brain Dead.
Yeah.
Heavenly Creatures? I don't know what that is.
I think there was a newer movie called that, but not related to what Reed did, I'm sure.
Yeah, Forgotten Silver.
Don't know that.
Jack Brown Genius.
Nope.
The Frighteners.
That sounds
96.
familiar. That sounds like a horror movie I might have heard of.
Yeah, I think we've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And then after that, after The Frighteners of 96, Lord of the Rings was 2001.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah. This movie basically kind of got attention. I think Brain Dead's what really gave him the
I wonder if all of his stuff is filmed in New Zealand, too.
I think so, yeah.
Probably, because Lord of the Rings definitely was.
This definitely was.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
I did not prepare myself for that, though.
Yeah, from the get-go, I was like, what the hell is this movie?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. This movie... Ooh, excuse me.
We're drinking again.
Of course we are. Hey, it's a nice Saturday night.
Yeah, the Saturday before Halloween.
Ooh, spooky. But this movie had no plot.
Absolutely not.
Bad special effects, but different kind of bad special effects.
Yeah.
And then lots of drawn out fight scenes.
Yeah, insane amount of drawn out fight scenes.
The difference, I feel like, was that it played into the terribleness and whatever. And I don't know, I can forgive something with a low budget for having a low budget, rather than something have a multi-$100 million budget and being garbage.
Yeah, being actually bad still.
Justice League.
Hey, I'll argue.
I literally would. It took me 4 days to listen to that episode. I have an hour drive to work, and I still couldn't finish it in a few days to and from work. And I listened to it a little bit here and there.
Of course, yeah. I'm about to say this is probably going to be the opposite because notes-wise, I think I have less notes than for a single episode of something I cover in Action Toon Bros for the plot of this movie.
I mean, the plot is pretty thin.
It's so thin, it's insane. But also I was gonna say, overall another macro thoughts. I'm not a fan of gross out
really?
horror gross out stuff. I'm honestly not that much of a fan of, but I do like what people call torture porn movies like Hostel and Saw. I love them, and I've seen all of them. I've seen all the horrible Hostel movies. I've seen all 9 of the Saw movies now, and I appreciate all of them.
I only ever saw the final chapter, and I haven't seen after. I saw Jigsaw, but not the one after, or 2 after. Who knows?
Yeah. The Spiral. Spiral.
Yeah, number 4 was called the final.
Oh, you mean when he died in the 3rd one? Yeah. When Jigsaw died in the 3rd movie of 9.
And then 4 was the final one. And then 5th was the extension final of the final.
Yeah, I love those.
7th was literally the final installment.
Yeah, and those movies are also almost people blame them for being plotless, gore, horror stuff. But I really appreciate, but also those movies are insanely plot driven. They're wildly like to their own detriment, convolutedly plot driven. But they're also like really gross out horror movies. I don't know if it's just like the comedy tone that stuff like this that I'm never really fond of. Like just like we like Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive. I like the gross out stuff for like the rats like exploding for like 20 minutes near the end or whatever, like all the vomiting with the weird grandma and stuff. I wasn't crazy about that stuff either during those movies, but I liked the movie a lot. It was still really, really funny.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah, I'll quote that all day long, and like how like any character can die at any moment. It's hilarious, but I did not enjoy this movie for like the vast majority of it. Maybe because like everyone was so ugly.
I mean, there was a lot of ugliness in this movie.
Yeah, they were all like ugly, pale, like middle-aged New Zealand guys, and then like we watched it on Tubi, and like whenever there was a commercial, I was so glad to see attractive young people. In my entire life, the first time I was ever looking forward to commercials to see attractive people, and I'm just like, oh, thank God. Some people with all their teeth and combed hair.
A lot of unkempt
They maybe
hair.
have taken a bath in the last week or two. Like,
Yeah, there was one dude who took a bath.
oh yeah. So that guy with the awful mustache, just like
Yeah.
sitting in a tub of water all afternoon.
With herbs and spices. Which I had to go back again because I was like, did he say like 11 secret herbs and spices? I'm like,
Yeah, a KFC reference.
yeah, I'm like, that'd be a fucking KFC joke.
Oh god. Also, people with like proper audio.
Yes, this entire movie felt like it was ADR'd.
I think it was like literally
The main villain leader, dude.
Oh yeah, the British guy, he was like completely off. But then like the early on when you finally see Derek, the guy with the glasses, talking for the first time, like his lip sync is like barely on at all.
Yeah, there was a lot of ADR done.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
even wrote that on pretty early. I'm like, did anyone actually talk? Or
Yeah.
did they just did they do like fucking The Room?
Yeah, I know, but I was just like, oh, thank God, these commercials, people with proper teeth. It was just like,
I just realized that's the second time in a row we've referenced The Room.
have we?
We referenced because the
Fed up with this world.
yes, Superman.
Okay, that movie's too on the nose and also too good for our pod. God, but yeah, this movie was like, it was a rough watch for me. I think I watch it in 2 sittings. I think I watched it in like 2 sittings. Probably.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like Justice League, I've watched all like the 2 times I've seen it. I watched it in 1 sitting. This movie I had to split up.
It took me 3 for watching that last time, and I watched this. Enjoyed myself. Was on a nice high, and then I watched Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh yeah, that's another one that's like has gross stuff, but it's still like. Well, honestly, it might be. I don't know if it is like the like goofy angle of this movie that I just wasn't gelling with. I don't know because it was like.
This is literally, if you look it up,
Yeah,
it's
it's
literally
comedy.
called a sci-fi splatter comedy.
Yeah. It is just like, oh, that is not up my alley at all. I like my comedies sarcastic, and I like my horror incredibly dour and self-serious.
I think we found a nice little divide in us.
Yeah, absolutely. This is about to 100% perfect movie for this podcast. I knew you were gonna like it, but like, yeah.
I thought you might, but I wasn't sure.
We
did make sure. I wanted to know, and I was afraid you weren't gonna like it too.
Oh yeah, well,
Which I'm okay with. Cause
it's fine. So you get like good conversation on a pod about it.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I cannot remember the first time we had this kind of divide on something.
Yeah. I was like half-heartedly like defending Justice League even. I think. Well, I'm gonna say I think I was a little bit more chill on Fantasy Island than you were too.
Yeah,
I was a little bit more okay with
the whole. I mean, the end of the movie got me.
It was very
heated.
stupid. Yeah,
like the whole, especially him being tattooed, and that was his bad tattoo, I'm like, no, it was. I mean, the movie was okay for the most part until the end, and that's what got me so heated.
We
literally drove from the theater back to your house.
Yeah, and recorded.
Trying to talk as little as possible on the drive, which is difficult for us.
Yeah.
And then we recorded, so I was pretty heated on that ending.
Yeah.
But it's still a middle of the pack one.
Yeah, it was a very like mediocre horror movie in general, but like I wasn't down on it too much.
Was it horror? Or was it more drama?
I think it was honestly I think it was like dictated as a horror, like described as a horror movie, even though it barely was. It was like
not a horror
it was a
movie.
literal fantasy movie, Fantasy Island. Like
That was
a fantasy thriller, I guess.
I mean, that was more like Shutter Island is not a horror movie. This was Shutter Island.
No.
It just had a little more
Yeah,
violence.
like a thriller. Yeah, it was like a dark thriller, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah. But yeah, this, like, yeah, splatter comedies are totally not up my alley.
I mean, there's a lot of splatter.
I know.
I loved it, especially near the end, too. There was so much.
The ending was so goofy. It reminded me of either Hard Ticket to Hawaii or Miami Connection. Not Miami Connection. What was the one where there's just, like, tons and tons of, like, idiot, nameless bad guys getting shot?
I can't remember.
I think it might be, like, Hard Ticket to Hawaii or something. Like, some, like, bad Steven Seagal movie or something.
I mean, all of them are bad.
Yeah. Miami Connection is, like with all the sword fighting at the end with the ninjas. Like,
I haven't even watched that movie.
I love that movie to death.
First time I saw it was in the theater. Actually.
I saw you like yeah,
and I have actually they were selling the Dragon Sound shirts, and I still have it. It's pretty tight on me now because I bought that like a long time ago.
Yeah, that movie is another like weird, like very old school, bad production quality movie.
And see, maybe I don't know. I like those kind of bad movies. See, this one was a bad movie, but it circled around to being fun.
Yeah,
and I think that's what I enjoyed because it tried to take itself seriously.
I don't know, dude.
It did.
Some of those, like, I guess they call them attempt at jokes, besides the gore jokes. I barely caught any of the, like, joke, like line, funny delivery line jokes. Where, did you catch any of, like, them at all?
No, I mean, visually, they took it, and physically, they took themselves seriously.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The lines, meant nothing. They really did. There was a few moments
Yeah, you get through that New Zealand accent enough to, like, know what anyone was saying. Also, Tubi, what the hell, subtitles? There was no subtitles.
I noticed that, too.
I'm like I love accents or whatever, but like I couldn't decipher what the fuck anyone was saying at any point in that movie.
It really didn't matter much.
It really didn't.
Though I will say the leader's voice was really hard to understand.
The British guy?
Yeah. Because literally he's even credited as the voice versus the actor.
Yeah, of course.
I couldn't understand what he was saying a lot. He sounded like this, and he just always talked and kind of blah blah blah.
Yeah, and when they went into their alien forms, like nobody was speaking anything tangible.
I think he was the only one who actually spoke.
Yeah, I think some of them like mumbled something like, let's get them. They went this way.
Which I will say they should have had those aliens more. But I mean, the fact that there was a low budget makes sense.
And they're like literally bad pillow suits.
They were actually baked the whatever that material was. I read it was baked in his mother's oven.
Of course it was.
It was oven made.
They literally just had like the shoulder pads and the butts.
The butts.
God, it was so good.
Oh my gosh.
It reminded me of Night Trap. the alien, the vampire guys in Night Trap with like their wiggling putty from Power Rangers arm movements.
They really, I mean, I won't give credit though because like. So the bad guys in this entire movie, they walked like that as humans.
Yeah.
And then they kept that up as aliens.
Honestly,
the attention to detail.
Yeah, I was like, the whole movie I was wondering, like, why are these guys so, like, stupid and weird? And why is everyone, like, hunched over and, like, waddling around like a maniac idiot?
They were dumb. Though apparently, at one point, they can literally leap over somebody.
Yeah. I was about to say, not to spoil the plot, but...
I mean, the plot is literally aliens come down and
so
want to
stupid.
eat us.
Yeah, but, like, I was going to say, they actually had an explanation. I was appreciative of that at the end for why they were so weird and like stupid and like expendable at the end. The aliens were actually had a single line like explaining like, oh, okay, that's why. Like
we lost all. Yeah,
we all saw the labor class, but they're all third degree labor class. Who cares?
Yeah, which I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm glad it explained a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Also, have you ever seen any of the Oddworld games?
No, not really.
Because I think the main like antagonists are modeled after these things because it looks very similar to them.
I've seen.
And
what
also
it looks like,
also the story is like very similar. The whole point is that like odds races being like used as food for those aliens that look almost identical to these.
Oh,
and it's just like I'm pretty sure it's probably a direct like influence. I'm sure if you ask them.
Funny.
It's very this movie's incredibly influential. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, literally, this is what got him into his career. I think at one point he's like. It was up for some kind of award, potentially. I'm sure.
It has really good scores on Rotten Tomatoes like, by people, reviewers, and like regular critics.
Yeah, I think because it's not meant to be a serious
film. Absolutely. I would never give this movie like a bad rating. I would 100% it's under the camp of not for me. As opposed to like this was dumb and bad, but like no, I'll say like it was 100% not for me, but I understand how it has like a very high score on Rotten Tomatoes. And
it's got a big cult following,
a lot of people
too.
like it, of course. Yeah.
I mean, especially because it was Peter Jackson.
Of course, all early Peter. Like I'm curious how all of his old like weird British fans were like thought about when he got Lord of the Rings. Like what the hell? Like what was he selling out or whatever? I'm very curious.
Yeah, that's definitely odd. He literally went to that from this.
Yeah, for a big studio. What was that? New Line Cinema who does or it's Warner Brothers at the end. At the end, it was Warner. It's definitely under Warner Brothers. I know that.
Is it? I don't fucking know.
I know it's definitely because I know it's owned by Warner Brothers now, but I don't know if like when it first started out who like the title people were
For Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Look it up real quick because I got my phone and.
All right, well then I'll vamp.
I mean, it'll be super quick here.
Oh, it's fine.
Let's see.
But yeah, I really appreciate
Produced
it.
by not produced by New Line. Yeah, distributed by New Line.
Yeah, New Line. Are they like extension of Warner Brothers?
I don't think they are.
Because I know like there's Lord of the Rings stuff in Warner Brothers. Like
I mean that's a whole other. That's going too.
Because I know like Lego Movie and that like rumored fighting game with Warner Brothers properties. There's also Lord of the Rings stuff in that. So I don't know. But yeah, I remember they.
I mean, that just could be a mutual thing.
Yeah, or like the branding or like merchandising. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, it's really weird. Which, oh, by the way, so fun thing, one of the Peter Jackson's last movies he did was a documentary about the Beatles. Which I thought was really funny because there's a scene where
the weird car that was so out of nowhere.
that was Derek. Like at the beginning, he seemed like he was part of it, and then he fucks off for a bit, and then he's the single weirdest thing in this movie.
Yeah,
like he's literally in a completely different movie almost till the end.
Yeah, like before we found out what the hell the alien people were. Like I figured when he got like weird and his brain was falling out that he was like turned like they were zombies or something, or they were turning people into these weird goofy men, and like he was turned into one. I was like, is that what's happening? But like no, he's just a completely bizarre
weird guy.
Weird human.
Just like, do we want to get started on the actual?
Yeah, we might as well. We're only 20 minutes in. This is probably not going to be more than 20 minutes from now. So
yeah. But by the way, early on, I love this is a Wingnut film.
Yeah, Wingnut. I saw that at the very beginning.
That was funny.
Was that at the beginning of Dead Alive? I wonder. I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah. Probably was still independent at that point.
But yeah, so it starts off with like a
painting of Queen Elizabeth.
Oh yeah,
weirdly young. I was like, why is she so young? I'm like, oh yeah, this was 30 years ago, back when she was like vaguely human. I guess.
Plus, it was in New Zealand, so it probably took them a few.
They're still a property.
I was gonna say it probably took a while to get new pictures. So
of course,
it's probably a 30-year-old picture. They're still shipping the new ones. But yeah, there's like this weird 911 call.
Yeah, an old recorder.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yes, that's right. And then some weird shadow figure guy.
Yeah, a man in a secret room talking about invaders. Oh, they've invaded. Oh no! And it's just
and he's like, we need to call in the boys. Which, by the way, if you notice, one of the buttons said the Queen.
I'm curious about some kind of like weird British slang for just like the boys, because that's the exact same name of the government group in. Actually, there's probably a reference. 100% the comic the boys.
This was 80s. I don't know.
No. It's 80. This is 87. But like the comic The Boys is only from like the aughts and 90s. But I'm 100% Garth Ennis. I think is the person who does that. He's 100% would be a fan because he's British, and the Boys is British, and it is a government. Like the term The Boys for that like superhero series, they are a secret government group that's dealt with superhero people.
Well, shit.
So it's probably like some kind of weird reference to some kind of, or if it's to this movie, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, at this point, I believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is called The Boys, and then like I wrote, but after The Boys, my first note is camera quality is very Cannibal the Musical.
Yeah, which I said this was definitely. I mean, this is literally the Cannibal the Musical.
Honestly, yeah, and that's a well, not really splatter because there's only like 2 or 3 scenes of actual violence in that. But that movie, I love, and I could watch any time of day, any situation. Just put it on and watch the entirety of it and sing along to all the songs and have a great time. But that also has like crazy, random, like cheap, violent craziness in it.
Well, you say you don't like splatter comics, but you like to trauma stuff, right?
Not crazy about trauma stuff, honestly. Oh. Yeah. I've seen a lot of.
We watched Night of the Poltergeist.
Poltergeist was very crazy, I think maybe because that humor, the humor in that was more like. More
airplane-ish.
More airplane-ish, but also more written than this. The comedy in this comedy was coming from like the gory stuff, but like that movie there was occasionally like a really long, crazy, gory scene. But like in between that there was a lot of jokes and a lot of like visuals, gags, and art gross. Yeah. But that was saying, but yeah, Cannibal the Musical has like a couple of really like bloody scenes or whatever. But like for the majority of that movie, it's just really, really funny writing, really, really funny, enjoyable songs, and then like bracketed either end by like a crazy scene of violence out of nowhere that's funny because it's so like crazy.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah. After writing Very Cannibal the Musical, my next note, very New Zealand.
It was very New Zealand.
Hey, you on the phone? Yeah, I'm on the phone. Where are you at? Yeah, I'm over here in the park. Oh, you're on the park? Oh, that sounds great, mate. And then I wrote slow axe guy chase.
Yes. That was one thing I will say is every action scene was very slow.
Very slow. But honestly,
I just the some of the running too. He run and was a mile away. He stopped and turned around, and the guy was all of a sudden 2 feet from him. Then he take 3 steps, and he's a mile away again.
Yeah, but they also back on the comedy's angle of all of it. The only gag or visual gag, at least that's not straight up gross, playing with brains for 20 minutes, is the constant tripping and constant slipping.
Oh my god!
That's the only visual gag in the whole movie besides anything else.
It was that banana splits sloppy time.
Yeah,
game.
yeah, literally people are walking on nothing and it's sloppy time. There's a pile of ketchup blood and it's woo, and they slip, or a bunch of brains and they step in it and squish and they fall, or rocks.
Yes, I wrote that one.
In this X, a pile of rocks just makes the guy fall 3 times. And it's just
yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, though also too it takes a while. So there's this they just kind of jump in. They don't even give you. They say call in the boys, and then all of a sudden, this random deserted town with this random dude chasing a dude.
Also, I didn't know what was going on for the longest amount of time, which is also kind of that probably annoyed me too.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely very slow of a start.
Oh, absolutely slow. It's very, very slow chase with this guy who looks like Alex Fossiani, just like with his awful, disgusting hair and his awful, disgusting beard that's cut crazily.
Yeah,
and then just slowly.
And when he finally pulls out a gun, he shoots the axe twice.
Yeah, he shoots the axe somehow. I thought I don't know if it was supposed to be. I'm gonna Superman. It's fast locking again because I have notes for this one. But I don't know if it was supposed to be he's blocking it or just a funny. That was another funny gag because I laughed at that because it's is he blocking the bullets or is it just he's a really shitty shot?
But then all of a sudden he gets a headshot.
Yeah, I wrote that's my next part note is headshot comma gross.
Double tap, by the way. You know I wrote that. I wrote in all caps. Double tap.
Yeah, he blows his head off for Then we watched the head be bloody and gross for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
words, and then he just decides to hide it. Which that's the only body they actually hide.
Yeah, that's another angle of not knowing what's going on, because the entire time that we are they're hiding bodies and keep calling them aliens, and I'm and they keep showing the bread pamphlets for whatever that is too.
Yeah,
and I was so confused. I was are these zombies? Are these the people that are the town that they're looking for? Because they're looking for people, but they're killing everybody, and they're not explaining what the situation is at all.
Yeah. By the way, also, the binocular guy, which is Peter Jackson, that's Derek.
Yeah.
If you notice, the first time you see him, he has a white
strand. Yeah, he's like bird poop or spit. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what that was. It was white, and then it disappears in the next shot.
Yeah.
And I think there was one scene later on where you see white something, and I was like, was that a cult? I kept waiting for something to come from that, and nothing does.
I thought it was a cult, but that wasn't it either.
My guess is that was probably that scene when I referenced there in the beginning when we first see Derek and you see that that might have been filmed right after they did a scene with something else. Or
you think it was an accident that they left that in?
That was an accident because it's gone. It's gone. Next time we see.
I think it might have been supposed to be spit, this guy's drooling or something. Also, did Peter Jackson have fake teeth in, or was that his real teeth? I'm curious. I
have no clue.
I'm trying to remember what he looks like normally, and I think he does have big teeth like that, but I'm not sure.
I mean, they might have also been
he was making a face, yeah.
He did a lot of faces.
Oh god, Derek. Yeah. 2 guys stalking the alien town. I wrote bread in question mark. What is this?
Yeah, it was I think it seemed that's probably this New Zealand thing where it looked like it was some charity or donation thing. So I think it was maybe it's a tax thing too.
Yeah.
But it's because there's an acronym for something.
Yeah,
I couldn't see.
I couldn't see it, but I assume it's some kind of food help thing for this out of nowhere town, I guess.
Yeah.
But then we see 2 guys in a car pulling up, just driving a guy with a huge mullet and a guy with a weird scrunched up face.
Those 2 guys don't do anything for the first half of this movie.
I know, they're driving around for 40 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
I'm what the
we're
hell
30 minutes
is
away,
this?
and then we're 35 minutes away 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I had no clue what the hell they're and they show the 2 towns split or whatever the heck, and they drive and they put a fake. I'm jumping ahead now, but they put the fake sign up, and I was they showed zoom out and show the town. Are they in the wrong town?
I don't even know because apparently, by the way, that town name Mahiho or whatever, it means food town or something like that. It was literally it is a language reference thing.
Weird.
What was it again? Because I gotta look this up. Because I saw that, I'm oh, that's actually pretty interesting.
But yeah, I said, 2 other idiot assholes in car playing loud music for a really long time, and everyone looks drunk or brain damaged. The guy,
brain dead.
Yeah, I know the guy with the mullet was just his eyes were half lit, and I was what the hell's happening in this movie?
Okay, here it is. So it was Kai Horo.
Kaihoro.
Kai means food, and Horo means town or village. So Food Town. Also, apparently, Food Town is the name of a New Zealand chain of grocery stores.
What language?
Maori word?
Oh, Maori?
Maori, yeah.
Ah.
Coined by Jackson and his crew early in the shooting of the film.
Okay. Oh, that's yeah.
So it literally that's like what was it? That's like in Squid Game how like you don't fully understand some of the Korean language stuff.
Yeah, the weird puns and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like I guess like stuff like I didn't catch. I didn't even know this until I was reading about it. Like how that one girl who's from North Korea, she did a North Korean accent talking to a little boy.
Yeah.
I could not have told you that.
Of course. I mean, that completely lost on us.
I'm curious, by the way, if like tell people who don't normally speak English if they hear like really thick Southern accents and like more traditional Northern accents.
Yeah.
If they're able to tell
I think
the same
people
way.
can. I think it is like a very distinct thing, just like how like Cockney British and like
But see,
proper
we
English.
speak that language,
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
makes
true.
sense. I mean, because I'm wondering, like, if just
Yeah, because I was gonna say I was playing Far Cry 6, and it takes place in a fictional South American town, but there is like a person from Mexico who's like played as a joke. But I'm very curious what the dynamic is like between those people because like they're technically like almost part of like North America. And then, like, they're so different culturally from the other people, and they, like, really do treat a character like an idiot. And I'm just like, oh, is that what they think of, like, Mexican people compared to South American? That's really weird. That's something we lost on us, but, like, it's very interesting to see.
Especially with, like, when if you know the language, like, that's why we can tell, like, you can...
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you listen and you... whatever, like, who was it? There's Neil something who plays in... He's Vince in The Mighty Boosh. Like, that accent...
Yeah.
He does like a Cockney accent, and it's very similar to Jim Sterling's Cockney accent.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering. I think they're from like the same kind of area, but I'm curious. You can tell the more you listen to those because we speak English, so we know. Of course. If you're something like, it's like even for me sometimes listening to like Japanese and Korean and Chinese, it's so like they're so similar.
Those I can tell apart just from the language from being such a weeb for the entirety of my life.
And see,
I can distinguish between like Chinese and Japanese that way, but like
Vietnamese and Korean and some of the other Asian languages.
But same with like I said, I like accents. I can tell like a New Zealand accent from an Australian, which is incredibly similar,
See,
or
I
like
also can't,
Scottish and Irish difference, and then like between like Welsh and Cockney, and it's just like there's so many different. But then also you compare a New York accent to a
Boston accent. Even.
Yeah, Boston accent, or even like a more extreme case, like a Southern Texas accent. But then you can compare like Kansas to Texas, and they have very different ways of speaking. Like my dad's from Kansas, he has a very distinct accent from anyone you can see anywhere else in the South. So it's like
there's a lot too, like Pittsburgh and like some parts of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know you made fun of me for like saying some weird specific Pennsylvania thing once.
Yeah, I did also think some terrible things back then because I didn't know.
Oh, of course,
I used to live in White Town, so when I got to finally meet some black people, like
it's a Pennsylvania thing, damn it.
It's a Pennsylvania thing, not a black thing.
But yeah, of course. But no,
listen, I was young. Remember whenever I learned about certain words?
Of course.
But you guys didn't hit me. I'm appreciative of that. You gave me a free pass.
Of course, yeah, you were cool back then. That was cool. We were cool. But like this movie is so. But how do you even get from there? Oh yeah, we're talking about Squid Games. We are so off topic again from this movie, which like I said, we're already like halfway through the plot. But like
we really are.
Oh god, but yeah, like what the hell else happened? Those two weird assholes, and I wrote, "They're a government organization?" ?
Yeah, and then it goes back to the one dude in a town. So there's what's the name of the town? And then
Barry or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's Derek up on a cliffside.
Yeah,
like looking down at the town with binoculars.
Yeah, and then we see around this time we see that he has. I wrote the guy tied up might be Peter Jackson. Like I'm not sure, but I think that's him.
Yep, I didn't know that.
He has the same straggly beard all the way to his cameos in Lord of the Rings.
Which, by the way, Barry at one point is like, be careful down there. And Barry's like, I'm not stupid. Immediately cut to he gets jumped by 4 aliens and dragged to a farm. Like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But then he gets away. They throw him out, and he's just able to run away from 4 aliens who had the jump on him. Like, how did they take over and kill everyone in this? Like, spoiler alert, they killed everyone in this town.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
I thought they were the townspeople for the longest time. I had no idea what the hell anybody was. But that's when he starts nailing the thing into Peter Jackson's foot. And
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because Barry's hiding from these 4 aliens who are moving really weird and slow and are terrible.
Yeah. Imagine putties from Power Rangers or the vampire guys from, like I said, Night Trap. Just a lot of squat, wobbly, weird looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he starts hammering the nail in the foot, and then suddenly they all stop chasing Barry or Brian or whatever his name is.
Yeah, because he screams in a way.
I figured he was like important, which I guess technically he is important.
Kind of.
I think he might be like a leader. I don't know, but like
I think he was just featured extra.
Yeah, but I was like, why are they so worried about that one being in danger when like the other ones are like they're
constantly being killed,
Yeah.
and no one like there's no. I was like, oh, they can like communicate to each other. Nope, that was just a random
thing that one could do.
Yeah,
so it's like howling while he's pounding the giant like sword. It was like a giant sword. I don't know what the hell that thing was.
Yeah.
He may have said what it was, but it's accent so ridiculous I couldn't imagine what he was saying.
We did forget to mention that.
Is when we see that rando guy, the guy just referred to as rando, driving into town.
Well, so Derek calls the two guys in the car and whatever, and they're like, yeah, we should have given you guys, we should have give you weapons. I'm like, you're supposed to be taking out aliens. You're not supposed to have weapons? The fuck?
They're British Commonwealth. They probably don't have weapons like everyone else does. They're not Americans where we have weapons in every other like
that would be
Walmart.
another cultural thing. But still, I'm like,
yeah.
You're supposed to be a
cops don't carry guns in England.
I know that. But I know, like,
so I wouldn't figure whatever the
specific.
hell. Yeah, that's why I figured whatever the fuck weird group this is.
But if this is like a secret government organization,
yeah, and presumably an attack is happening.
Right, they're supposed to be. These are supposed to be like the top guys. Like you don't call them unless it's serious.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna have weapons.
Yeah, but then also shouldn't have because they did kill somebody who presumably was human. So
also when so Barry hides in the shed. Eventually they find him, and if you notice, they're using one of the dudes as a battering ram.
Yeah, they're like using his head. He's like, ooh, bam, ooh. Like another more goofy weirdness from these goofy idiots.
Yeah. So you said the hammering. He's like, you gotta tell me everything. So he puts a knife and starts hammering to his foot.
Yeah, and all the guys start running. All the guys chasing the Brian guy or whatever start running towards Peter Jackson hanging guy. So.
Yeah, and then at some point he gets told to like they're coming or something.
Yeah, Derek, you gotta run. And then I wrote down the line. I'm a Derek. Derek's don't run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, also before that, he pulls the knife out and there's a big cum shot right in his face, right in his glasses, which falls over the cliff.
Yeah. Immediately almost slips. Yeah, I was also very like worried about him like constantly like on the precipice of that cliff, waving around like he's about to fall any second.
Yes, he did so much.
So ridiculous.
I wrote that same line down. I'm a Derek. That's how I knew his name. Derek's don't run.
Yeah, that's like the only line I wrote. And then he pulls out a very fake Uzi.
It took him a while too. And then the second he pulls it out, he's super cool, and then he just kind of slips.
Yeah, he like kills a bunch of them. Really. Oh, he's like yeah, I'm so cool. And he slips, and then he proceeds to like shoot up a bunch of them in a really crazy action sequence.
Well, first he shoots out. This is like half of all of his ammo on trees. Yeah. And he's like orgasming. It looks like.
Yeah, he's like spitting up, and it's just insane. It's so gross.
And then he struggles to get the next clip. And he does the one guy goes up, he starts fake firing, making a noise, and the guy fucking falls for it.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
And then he like keeps making that noise. I thought, oh, it's a callback. Nope.
Yeah, no, he's like actually firing and still like making the fake noise the entire time. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, eventually he kills them, but then the Peter Jackson disappears.
Yeah, well, you also miss a great part, though. He shoots the first dude up.
Right? Oh, yeah.
The first dude takes a while to kill. Takes a good amount of ammo, and he falls into him, and the gun gets stuck. Oh, so the guys keep coming, so he pushes it through the guy's body, and is firing through the guy's body.
It's so ridiculous.
That was awesome. That was so cool. I'm like, that's funny.
It's very stupid.
It's stupid. It's funny. And when he eventually pulls it out, he's got to, like, dump out some of the gore.
Like he like pours out the blood, like ketchup-y blood for like a couple seconds. Yeah, I literally for the entire fight scene just wrote he kills a bunch of them, and then Peter Jackson.
Yeah, you just find out that the Peter Jackson somehow got away.
Yeah.
But did he like rip?
He was like when he pulled the knife out and went back to go get the Uzi, he started like fiddling with his shoe, like he was trying to get out. But then the rope looks like it was cut. So it's all very stupid.
There's also a good kill where. So these weird guys keep picking up like random items like hammers and axes and pieces of wood, and the one dude has a sledgehammer and he gets shot and drops the sledgehammer onto and goes through the head of one of these dudes.
The guy right behind him.
It's like it reminded me of Hobbs and Shaw, where it's like he stabbed the guy with a brick.
Yeah.
I thought that, and then he uses the Uzi and shoots off the arm.
Yeah.
So one dude is like barely kind of like, ooh, he's got a sledgehammer in his head
with an arm attached to
it. I'm like, that's funny and it's gory.
It's so ridiculous.
Which, by the way, at this point, we are 23 minutes into this movie.
Yeah.
The plot has not been mentioned or even
we don't know what's
hinted
going on.
at.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
It is just a bunch of random dudes attacking these other dudes.
Yeah, random crazy violence happening. But then, the Peter Jackson, after he finally kills the 4 guys after him, Peter Jackson finally pops out of a bush and
kicks him.
Kicks him, and a very fake dummy falls off of the cliff.
Dummy falls hilarious.
A weird crouched dummy. It was like falling down the mountain, like crouched in a half ball, just like the entire way.
It was so funny though.
It was so scary.
And then you also had him doing like,
yeah, it was just so stupid.
It was so funny though.
And then it was so ridiculous. That part made me laugh. The really fake thing made me laugh.
And then he falls off the cliff, and he's dead.
Yeah, he's totally dead. One rando, I thought, that rando guy finally gets into the town.
Yes,
the guy with the glasses and the mustache finally drives into town.
Which I wrote this down because I was like, so there's this big cliffside battle. Derek gets killed and all this, and it's then it's like it's like this really lighthearted music. I'm like, this is a real tonal shift.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. The other 2 guys block off the town. Random mustache guy walks around the town for a really long time.
Yes, he does.
And eventually sees that no one's there, and then Peter Jackson is like jumps out and attacks him. He's like eating another one of the guys.
Yeah, well,
which is not something that happens again, I don't think.
And it doesn't. So Barry is running up towards Derek, and that's when he finds out that Derek had fallen off the cliff.
Yeah.
And Peter Jackson, alien guy, literally leaps over him and then keeps running.
Yeah.
And he finds the body of the first guy who got shot with his head blown off.
Yeah.
And he's got a spoon and he's eating
so ridiculous.
the guy. I'm like, this is cannibalism. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know. Are they zombies? Why are they eating their own fake dead ones?
And then he sees the collector dude. I call him the collector.
Is that what he is?
They refer to him as
I thought the collector was the boss of the aliens.
No, I just called him leader.
Who the fuck was he? He was picking up those bread pamphlets too.
Who was?
The random mustache guy with the glasses.
Yeah, it was the collector.
Yeah, why do they call him collector?
Yeah, I think he's collecting the donations or whatever.
Weird. Yeah, what the hell was the point of the bread stuff? He's not related to
that's why I think he was in the town.
This really needed subtitles.
Yes, it did.
The movie was already wildly stupid. It could have very poor audio on top of already not making sense, and then you have we have no idea what the hell was happening in this movie.
Also, so he sees the collector. I'm just going to call him collector. That's why I'm calling him.
Yeah. I just have a mustache guy. So yeah.
So Peter Jackson sees him, puts the spoon back in the body, and goes after him. Like, you've got a meal right there. Why are you going after this? You want it fresh?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But
there's another weird moment where it's like he's super close, and then he's super far away. So he stops for a minute, then the guy closes in, then all of a sudden he's got enough time to do everything he needs.
Peter Jackson has the weird sword knife thing that was being put into his foot now, and he chases the collector, the mustache guy, into his car.
Which, by the way,
into a car.
It was his car.
Is it his car?
It was his. Yeah.
I didn't even see him. Why is he why is it on a beach?
That's
I thought
he pulled up.
I thought he pulled into the front of town, and then that's on the outside of leaving town.
I didn't even catch that.
It was so bizarre. I had no idea where the hell. I thought it was a random car he found, but he had keys to it. I was like, I guess it's his car.
I did right, by the way, because he's running. He stops. He turns. He gives the finger.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and slips and terribly slips on a rock.
Yeah, so stupid. More slipping.
And then there's the car doesn't start cliche.
Of course, he's like slowly. Yeah, he's slowly. Suddenly, the car doesn't start. That's why you need push button cars, people.
And then his window doesn't roll up either.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to roll the window up, and I'm just like, I remember these shitty roll up window cars,
They
but
were never. I mean, they were.
that was absurdly broken. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. He traps the dude's hand in.
Yeah, he traps Peter Jackson's arm in, and it starts driving off, and then he's dragging Peter Jackson on his car for a long time.
It's just awkward and weird.
But yeah, the Brian guy spots the guy leaving. He's like, oh, there they are. And the other 2 guys are far behind still. The mullet and
32 minutes
guy.
into the movie, and they're still not even in it.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
And then the collector drives, and he sees a house, this big, fancy looking manor. So he gets out of his car to go to the house and ask for help.
Yeah, he's asking for help, and then a weirdo answers the door. Peter Jackson gets his sword out of the car. And then the collector guy's knocked out and put in a stew.
He gets knocked out. But there's cook. He's this really big guy.
Yeah. We'll find out later. He's a mini boss.
He really is. And
a bunch of weird guys around him. I wrote.
He gets put into this barrel filled with water and a bunch of vegetables. He's got apple ball gag taped into his
Yeah,
mouth.
Apple taped into his mouth is so ridiculous.
And then this is where we get the leader.
Yeah, I said bald guy says they'll eat him first, and then this is the first they'll have since they arrived.
I think something like that. Yeah.
So they haven't eaten all the villagers, I guess.
They haven't because you see them in
Later we see
on.
them. Yeah, we later see what
Sort
happens to them, kind of, but like. So they didn't eat any of them, but they're going to. Also, why is he in a stew if like how they eat them is completely not that way at all?
Well, they say they're like later on they're starting to list stuff, so maybe they're testing out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Also, we later find out what things that they do eat, so that makes even less sense.
Yeah, it's very weird. But yeah, they're like, we're gonna eat you first, and they're like, yeah, and then like they all like party out and leave, but then Big Chef guy like sharpens up Peter Jackson's sword
and then he cuts his throat.
The chef guy does like the slit throat motion, and then Peter Jackson copies it with the sword in his hand and cuts his own neck.
I thought he killed himself.
I thought he was dead too. I was like, okay,
Nope, he's fine.
yeah. That's so stupid.
So this is where we get to some really like everything else at this point has been odd. But it's been kind of grounded.
We're kind of maybe deducing, okay, this guy's behind something.
Well, then we cut back to Derek, who we see later. Like he's like, all you see his legs. He wakes up because all these seagulls around him, and he headbutts the seagull.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
He just, and he's a really fake looking one too.
Yeah.
He's like, boom, like headbutts
God.
it, and he's laughing, and then all of a sudden you see like. So like right in the back of his head, his skull has split open.
Yeah, like an orange peel section.
Yeah,
just like flapping off of his head.
And he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, he's like completely nonverbal now, just making weird, dumb noises.
And he puts it back up, and he sees part of his brain.
Yeah,
like this really like weird gloopy thing. So he lets the place fall open, and he just puts it back in his head.
Grossly mashes the brain piece back into his head, and then closes it.
Yeah, part of his skull is broken, part of his brain is out. And he's still alive.
Yeah, it's a very long, gross, weird, silly scene.
I'm like, how the fuck is he alive at this point?
Oh,
It
God.
makes no fucking sense.
Oh,
And then
God.
he's running. He's like holding the back of his head.
Yeah,
And he gets back to his car.
Well, yeah, Glasses guy comes back to life. Fake Gull eats his brain, and then I wrote nasty brain repacking scene.
Yeah, it was weird. And then he like hobbles. He's holding the back of his head. He finds his car like hidden in like some shrubs.
Oh well, yeah. My phone again. Another phone drop in the middle of the episode. But no. We see I wrote the government gang now. Is how I refer to them. They finally meet up with Brian. No, the gang. The group. The three guys. Brian, the two mullet guy, and the squinchy face guy finally meet up, and they're like, we're going to pack up and get ready to go. They start gearing up.
Oh, I didn't even write that yet.
Yeah, this is when they finally meet up, and they say they're going to all head to the main house.
Okay.
And this is when, Derek's like making his way there as well.
But yeah, he gets to his car, grabs a top hat, puts it on, and then just falls over.
It's still very goofy and silly.
And then he dies, but nope, he's not dead yet.
Yeah, the government guys start dressing like home invaders, I wrote. They put like ski masks on and a bunch of bulletproof outfits.
I was like, why do they be faceless for this?
I don't even know. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, bald guy has a monster form we see in shadows for a second, and then he's greeted by the other weirdos and says, "Oh, these human forms are terrible, but don't worry, we're all gonna be out free soon."
There was a Doctor Who reference, by the way, somewhere in here.
There's a lot of his scarf. The hat and the scarf that Derek is wearing is a Doctor Who reference. I was gonna say this also felt like
oh no, they're like, what do you expect? We go up where there'll be in a mailbox or a phone booth or something.
Police box.
Yeah, I'm like, Doctor Who reference.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, God, I wish I was watching Doctor Who. This is like an episode of Doctor Who, but like they like play with like pig intestines from a barbershop for like 30 seconds between every shot. I was like, I was watching a freaking dumb Doctor Who episode.
Yes, you see the
I bet all these guys. I'm gonna say, well, speaking, I can go on Doctor Who tangent for a second. You know how I guess you don't watch a lot of British stuff, but like there are a like specific amount of British actors, and they all appear in everything that like is ever British in TV show wise or movie wise, and like they have all been in Doctor Who. Like every British actor you can possibly think of has had an episode of the modern recent Doctor Who has like had some kind of reference in it. I'm very curious how many, if any, of these people have been in Doctor Who episodes, because like I'm not kidding. They have everyone. It's like it's like British Law and Order, where like every actor you can imagine, like at some point in their career, has like walked on and like played a random alien in Doctor Who. You'll be surprised if you like watch the series. Oh. But I'm very curious how many of these people actually have like popped up or something in it. I should probably look that up. But this isn't my movie, so I don't need
to. I mean, honestly, I'd never watched Doctor
Of course,
Who,
you should. It's really, really good.
And
it's good. Hey, Doctor Who's wonderful. How dare you?
That's my hot take of the
It's
podcast.
the British One Piece, I'll say that.
Even more so.
Yeah.
Which we will do that One Piece podcast eventually.
One of these days.
We'll have to figure out if we're doing the anime or the manga. Are we doing like the manga?
We probably have to go by the... I'm about to say, we have to go by the manga, but then I'm like, don't we miss all the cool... we can't One Piece now.
We could.
Yeah, we absolutely could.
I mean, I feel like we should do like... We could figure out like... We'll plan it out, do the manga mostly. But see, I feel like... That's the thing is, like, there is a few things... I know, we'll go with manga, but... We'll make sure we get the filler episodes as well.
The good filler episodes.
I say all the filler.
That fucking missed episode with the memories or whatever the hell clip show shit. You remember that one? They like sailed into a random fog thing before they got to an island and they got a bunch of like weird, vague memory episodes.
I mean, are we talking about like a filler episode or like a filler arc? Because there's a few multi-arcs.
I think it was more than one episode.
We'll figure that out when we get there. Because like the right after the Skypiea when they go to that one base.
G4 or whatever it was.
G4, yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was. I'm like. I knew nothing about that.
I was surprised when I like got ahead and watched the Davy back fight section.
Yeah.
And I found out that wasn't in the manga. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff in there.
Yeah, because I remember after the third game, like, wait a minute, that's not how it ended in the manga. Oh, let's do some more games. I'm like, that's actually where I was watching with Chris, and that's where the in the race when they're trying to like make Foxy happy, and he's like happy, sad, happy, sad. Chris and I were dying. We used to do shit like that.
Oh god, One Piece is wonderful. But back to this movie, which you made me watch.
Jones is the best arc.
Davy back fight is it's probably one of my like top favorite. Like CP9 and the what the hell was that? The whole section with the meeting Frankie, that arc.
Water 7?
Water 7, all the way to the CP9 reveal. That's probably my like number one, followed by Skypiea, probably followed by Davy back fights.
See, Davy back's up there for me, but I didn't like Water 7 as much.
I loved Water 7. I went back and watched it again.
I liked a lot of what Skypiea did, and the back end was really good. But
Skypiea was wonderful.
A lot of the opening
I think
was
when
slow.
Enel got, well, I will say,
Enel was great.
Water 7 was like very cathartic. Oh, we're gonna go on this forever, but Water 7 was very cathartic. It was very nice in the beginning, but then the entire CP9 arc in that government base was it a government base they were in, or was
where
it
they go to the
where CP9 is like trying to stop him with the elephant with the mask dude.
Oh,
when Robin's taken.
That was one of like the big areas. I remember that.
Yeah, I think it was a government building, wasn't it? A government facility?
It was like
that whole section is probably like my favorite of all One Piece.
Oh,
stuff.
that was really good.
Anyway, back to this movie.
Yeah, you get the great, they all team up, and we screw the world government. We're taking you all on. And they burn the flag.
Oh God, One Piece is great. We got to get back to this though.
Yeah.
But we got back to we're literally almost at the end of the plot of this movie. So
I mean, basically, yeah. This is actually we're about to get to the big part here.
The guys, the good guys split around in the kitchen. They slip around. Everyone split. They slip around in the kitchen for a minute.
But they said the aliens are like, we're gonna leave the shithole tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, so then why is there such a worry? Well, I guess you find out later why it's a worry. But I'm like, their plan, I swear to fucking God, is that I didn't even realize this. They stole my plot that I figured out. I wrote in high school.
Oh, that alien plot?
First, we're gonna be stealthy, but what happens if we get caught? Well, then we'll just action it up.
Yeah.
And then the final thing I wrote is, if that doesn't work, we're still alive. We trick them. That kind of is how it happens.
That's literally how it happens.
So apparently, I was ahead of my time.
Yeah. Maybe just like tertiarily osmosis it into your brain.
And then that's right. The leader is like, we lost some guys today. They were murdered by some real assholes.
yeah, that was a funny line. See, a funny line in this movie. A line that I heard and I understood, and it was funny.
Yeah, you're right. They get into the kitchen at nighttime.
They slip around for a minute.
And they clean up.
Yeah, they mop it up.
You're sneaking around. You're just gonna clean the floor up.
Yeah, they overhear the speech, and they hear that the bloody boxes are filled with the humans of the town.
It's like, surprising how many humans you can hit when you cut out all the fat.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, but how do you know what is the fat and what's not?
Like, also, they're like random farmers. Not like it was like a part where. Well, I don't know.
It wasn't America.
They weren't farmers even. They were like
it's just a small little
fishermen.
town.
I don't even know what the hell those people did.
I don't know.
It was a village in nowhere.
But like, all right, this isn't America. This is New Zealand. So I guarantee you, and if it is out of a coastal town, they probably have a lot of,
Yeah, if they're Australians, maybe.
But still, like, they were probably, probably more fit and very active. It was also before,
Yeah, maybe.
So they were probably, did they cut off the muscle?
I don't even
the
know.
only bit of fat I could think of right off the bat were women's breasts. That's not even me trying to be whatever. Like, legitimately, those.
I don't think there were any. Well, there was no women in this entire movie. So,
Yes, there were not.
There's not a single female person in this entire ridiculous movie. The alien alien guy enters the kitchen, and then just gets his head yanked off by these idiots.
Oh my god! Well, he gets hit with a mop first.
Yeah.
And it's not just his head and the spine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then. It's like, get rid of it. So he's like, dude, just like kind of rips the spine off and kicks the head out the window.
So ridiculous.
I loved it.
Oh god. Anyway, Crumbs. What was it called? Crumbs Country. Oh yeah, Crumbs Country Delights is what the name of the group is, or whatever the hell. I wrote very odd world in this because
and it was so they wanted to. They're gonna use these humans that they have all boxed up as samples to try and take over to be like the #1 fast food organization.
Yeah.
Because. They want to make the human craze the next big thing, so they got all these, livestock, 4 billion of them.
Yeah, ridiculous. Peter Jackson, these guys are like wildly incompetent. I can't imagine them doing this anywhere besides a small idiot town in New Zealand. But Peter Jackson pukes green into a bowl.
Well, yeah, that's what we gotta mention that one of the mullet dude. Was it mullet dude or?
It was just the
other dude,
squishy faced dude gets
He
called out.
He puts on
and out the outfit of the guy.
Yeah, the outfit goes
it's
out
like
the
padded
pole.
up. It's like he's wearing his bulletproof outfit. So
they were wearing like bulletproof vests.
He's wearing a pillow,
full
ridiculous
armor, riot gear. But he puts it on over, and he has got to hold this bowl, and they're like, it's time to eat. And Peter Jackson, like I said, vomits into the bowl.
Just pukes green into it, and then like the old alien guy drinks it, and is just like, and then they all drink out of it,
and then they turn into vegetables and eat my goblins.
Yeah, I wish that was happening. I'm like, finally, this movie's funny again.
That was pretty gross.
Oh god,
I even wrote. I'm like, this is gross.
The undercover guy drinks it too, and it's just like whatever.
He liked it, didn't he?
I thought he looked like he liked it. Yeah, but it's never referenced or like played up at all. So I don't even know.
But
all the acting is horrible in this movie.
Yeah, I will say this was actually kind of gross. Like, not only would it look gross, but then like they made like
yeah, they have like gross mouth noises,
and they would have burping.
Yeah, there's like constant burping after the scene with the nasty mouth noises. They get back. He gets back into the base with the other guys, and then all the aliens go to sleep, and the rando guy is still sitting in the stew. And then
there's a big fake out here.
Yeah.
Because it's like slowly something in the shadows is coming, and you see a knife, and then it cuts the apple, the tape, so the apple falls out. It's like, hey, we're here to save you.
Yeah, that's the good guys. And we're like, yay. Nice. The next morning, the guys sneak around, and this is what I super quick pressed mode I do. But I'm like, the next morning they sneak around and eventually start shooting their way out.
Okay, so it was like they started at like probably the beginning of the night, right? Because the aliens probably went to bed around 10 or 11.
I think they started in the morning. It had to be morning when they started actually killing people.
Well, no.
I don't know how they did
first
that.
Get into the house.
Yeah.
So they probably wait till like 10 or 11, right?
Yeah.
So the aliens go to bed around midnight. Maybe it takes them 3 hours. I'm sure it did not take them 3 hours to find the dude, but let's say it does. So it's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
They find the guy. And then they start sneaking out, and it's bright outside. Like, not just like, the sun's just coming up. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, very morning.
So what were they doing for all this time?
I have no idea. It was so stupid.
My guess was, since this movie took 4 years, they shot it on weekends.
Yeah.
They said, fuck the continuity of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is probably we can't afford lighting for our action scene because literally it's like 45 minutes. Half of this movie is an action scene.
Yeah, literally.
We can't afford lighting to make this look good, so we'll just make it morning when the action scene starts.
Yeah, it's so stupid. They definitely said the fuck continuity of this for this movie. But I wrote like, why are the aliens, the human aliens, all seem very infantile for no reason.
They do. Well,
they're like playing with bricks and like all very goofy and very
patty cake in that one room.
They barely speak. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I wrote headshots abound. They're just killing everyone with headshots. Derek Glass's guy keeps wandering aimlessly, drives a weird Beatles car. Like, why is there a random car with like 4 cutouts of the Beatles? It's so stupid.
First, you've got to mention how he gets woken up from because he thought he's dead.
Yeah.
And a seagull poops on him.
Yeah, again, nothing like freaking cum shot on his face like the 5th one.
Yeah, and he's somehow alive. Like, how and why is he alive? And yeah, he's got the Beatles from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band in the front of this car where he's standing while he's driving.
Yeah, so ridiculous. I wonder if it's like a reference to that movie. Was there like a weird stand-up car in that movie? I vaguely remember. I don't remember anything from that movie when I saw it. More gunfights. Five guys in a tree give them some trouble.
I was gonna say with the car. Go back to the car real quick. They had like hero music, and I thought it was funny that he calls hero music when he's driving away, and it's the fucking Beatles in the front seat.
It's so ridiculous.
I'm like, that's funny.
Oh,
this is funny.
I'm like, that's so stupid. This is so stupid.
Oh, by the way, there's one point where because they during the meeting they hand out we're gonna give out these these guns. Which, by the way, if they killed everybody. Why do they... Oh, yes, they did say that some assholes killed their friends, so they maybe expected them
I guess.
to say that, but, like...
They had more efficient things than, like, AK-47s.
I mean, they couldn't probably make anything better than that, because I used the same, like, 3 props for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so he's, like, killing everybody. One dude gets the drop on him, and then he burps before he fires, so he gets killed.
Yeah.
Very inept. Like, there's multiple times in this movie where... It would have been over if instead of like standing there, like looking at them, holding the gun at them.
Yeah, everyone just fires wildly, and it's just so stupid. But yeah, like the guy, the squinchy face guy, gets like held down by somebody shooting from a tree. He sprays into it, and then like 5 guys fall out.
Like 8 guys, I thought. He high stepped over bullets. If you notice, they're literally dodging bullets.
Yeah, they're dodging bullets nonstop in this movie. It's so stupid.
I'm like, it's stupid, but it's awesome.
Yeah, well, glasses guy, Derek, finally makes it to the main house, but his brain is knocked out again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He gets out of his car, and the bullets are kind of, so, he's kind of high stepping him over, too. And then one random bullet hits his top hat, knocks his brain out, his skull to open, and he just falls over. It's like, oh, he's dead. Yeah. Nope.
It's so ridiculous.
So yeah, I killed 8 guys from. I kind of thought it was like 8 guys from the tree.
He is so stupid.
It was so like he uses all his ammo. He goes to reload. And he's just like wait, and there's like one dude, and then another dude, and then more, and then more, and more, and more. I'm like Jesus Christ.
It's so ridiculous.
But it was funny. It was It was comic. See, this is what.
But it was like. It was so stupid. It wasn't like good, funny, like practical comedy or like not even good slapstick comedy. It was so weird and stupid. But
See, I thought it was. But like also too, I noticed in this entire action scene, the common thread besides the bad guys not using the I have the drop on you, so I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like that cliche happens like a bunch. But also the good guy heroes, like they can literally one shot, snipe anything that they want.
Yeah, it's very ridiculous.
And the aliens are shooting like full-on magazines and are,
missing them nonstop. Yeah,
terribly.
It's so ridiculous.
More often than not, they kill their own guys.
Yeah, they do kill their own guys a bunch too.
This is where we get the mini boss scene, though.
Yeah. Chef mini boss. I wrote.
I thought this was an awesome scene.
I thought, that was probably that just probably blew my cream of the crap. Honestly, literally, this scene is like the only time I was like engaged with what was happening because my brain was like shut up. I was violently struggling with myself not to pull up my phone during the long gunfights, but then this section I was like paying attention and I enjoyed it because like the mini boss fight, actual tough guy, and this is the only time any of them were in actual danger. Yeah, because I thought like, oh, this like mullet guy might actually get killed here because they don't like killing whoever whenever they want. Yeah, so maybe he might actually get killed right now.
I thought I was like, how he's gonna get out of it, and then so yeah, he comes up and the single punch knocks out the collector because they split up at this point.
Yeah,
and I couldn't tell you who was who, by the way, in this fight.
They were all wearing identical outfits, and they eventually took them off.
Yeah, they're wearing these ski masks where you only see their eyes. I can't tell them apart, so I'm just like...
Everyone in this movie is like a pasty 30-plus white dude, so who knows?
The only one who was distinct was Derek.
Yeah, or the old man.
The leader?
The leader guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was also distinct, because he was wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans.
Yeah, they all dress the same and all like assholes.
They all have the same haircut, basically.
Yeah, which is like thereof.
I like this fight scene because like the chef was also like tough. Like he was actually
a unique person in the movie and doing something different than all the idiots spraying guns wildly like morons.
Yes, he was using a knife and he was like big and bulky.
Yeah,
he brought a knife to a gunfight and disarms the dude of 2 guns.
Very easily disarms this guy who was like killing people left and right. It's so dumb. But
I loved it.
Yeah, that's my cream of the crop. I'll say.
And I'm like, it was this is definitely like staged. I think this is one of the best choreography scenes too.
It was the only one that had choreography practically.
Yeah, like it was very sluggish.
Of course,
and it actually made me think a lot about Justice League when some of those fights were sluggish. But I think I couldn't forgive that because that had the budget, that had all these, it had all the advantages.
Yeah.
Versus this being just a bunch of guys, literally making this movie,
making a dumb movie,
and it was creative in a way too. Like this wasn't just generic.
I'm sure well, I'm gonna say the fight scene 100% was. Yeah, and this entire this insane action scene was very
And you know what too? I think is because this movie. I mean, they had the after effects for the bullets.
Of course,
they were literally, by the way, because these were made out of like cardboard and wood.
Yeah,
they were literally to get the recoil. They were just shaking the guns.
Yeah, you can see when they pointed the gun at the camera and they showed the fake muzzle of the gun.
Yeah,
that was obviously plugged up and not real.
And then they had just a little the same white picture like it was freaking
bird. It reminded me of Birdemic.
It was.
But I think in Birdemic they had more realistic guns.
But this had better effects, believe it or not.
I'll say it's debatable.
But I think too because in the fight scene, even though there was a lot of the typical I'm punching you in the face, but just swiping in front and you're reacting.
Yeah.
It felt like there was a real weight to the hits. That was my problems was the CGI and maybe it was the slow down, speed up, but nothing felt visceral in Justice League. Even Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, Resident
Um,
Evil 2 Apocalypse.
Yeah, the fight scenes with a lot of those things weren't that realistic. There was no, the dogs were kind of realistic, but the liquors were all fake. The only good practical effect fight involved terrible editing.
That movie, that Graveyard Fight was fucking awful.
Yeah, that was awful. But this, they let us see the punches and the hits, and
but they were wildly fake.
They were wildly
they're
fake.
horribly choreographed. Not even bad, a real fight, clumsy, but they were real stupid looking.
But they didn't obscure the fight through bad editing. There was plenty of action cuts, but it was like Willy's Wonderland where they let a scene evolve before moving.
Yeah, but also, I'm pretty sure he was really beating up those suits a lot of the times too, because that's just fucking throwing people through buildings and shit. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, the government guys, I said, save each other a bunch. Glasses guy finally tapes his brain back on. And gets a chainsaw.
Yes, there's also another point where he kills someone and gets another cum shot at his face. Blood.
Again.
And I even said at this point, what's
hits a guy. He hits a guy. He drove through a guy and knocked him in half.
Yeah,
and then tapes his brain up and chainsaws the guy. It's a fucking long, dumb scene.
This is another weird thing because he puts a belt around his head and he hits that guy with his car.
Yeah,
gets the chainsaw out, kills the dude. I didn't think he picked up brain. It looks like he picked up intestines.
He picked up something later because right now
it was later.
He gets back up, steps in his brains and realizes he can't put it back in his head.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
drives off and hits a guy. Belts his head closed and then gets out with the chainsaw and just kicks that guy he drove in half and then wanders off and doesn't get a brain until later.
Yeah.
Old guy sneaks around with a gun and the freaking barrier or whatever starts shooting a bunch of people more and it finally fights Peter Jackson.
Yeah, hold on. I had some points. I think I got a lot of what we just talked about here, but longer notes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he throws a pine cone at Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
That pine cone beats chainsaw.
Peter Jackson. That was the guy he hit in half.
Yeah, this is where he had the white goop in his mouth when he got the brain knocked out.
Yeah.
And or whatever. Or I remember he had the white goop on his face then.
Yeah,
which was so weird.
All these dumb scenes ran together in my head too because they're so weirdly repetitive almost.
The leader action, by the way, no bullets in his gun.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Yeah, this dude's supposed to be the smartest out of all of them.
He's the only one who can talk. But they're all still stupid.
I wrote hero guys are literally able to one shot almost everybody.
Yeah.
And,
but finally the main guy Brian or whatever fights Peter Jackson finally and kills him with a machete, not even a sword.
This is where
a new machete.
He machete chops the one dude in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
and then he throws at Peter Jackson, hits him in the neck.
Yeah,
and pins him, and then all of a sudden he's got he's somehow raised up a bit.
Yeah, he's in the middle of the air. It's so ridiculous.
And then he starts spraying his gun randomly and he hits the leader.
Yeah, and then finally the guy reveals his alien form along with all the other guys, finally transform into their weird baked outfits.
Yes, which I wrote butt ugly aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get to see the best part, one of the best things about this movie. So if you see this movie, you've seen the cover, the alien with the give him the finger or whatever.
Yeah.
So they got these big lumpy looking heads, and they got these big bulges on their shoulders.
Yeah.
But what you don't see in those pictures, and you don't get to see until the movie, is that their butts have been blown out and have big bulging.
Yeah, it's so
things.
Dumb and gross.
And not just one of them. Everything.
Yeah,
even the leader.
They all have their butts out.
And I thought that was just
That was so stupid. I was like, this is dumb and bad. And I hate this. I don't look at these nasty creeps. Even if the masks are fake as shit, you can see their eyes. It's like the one specific troll mask in Troll 2 where you can like see the actors like eyes and face. You can literally see their faces behind the mask when they talk. Their face, their moves.
Yeah. Yes, it was so bad. But
stupid.
But this is again. I thought I loved it because they were ugly and they looked stupid.
They were very ugly.
But I like that we saw practical effects. Like these things.
I wish they were CGI.
These things to me looked a hell of a lot better than fucking Cyborg in Justice League.
I'd rather look at 1,000 jumble of metal Transformers than these ugly idiots.
I disagree. I loved the practical effects. I
hated the way they looked.
This is where we get the lumpiness moving.
Yeah, you finally explain their stupid putty man movements.
Yeah, I was like, this is nice touch.
Yeah, they run through the woods. I'm pretty sure Mustache Guy dookied his pants. It's like there's like a brown stain on like one of their pants in the middle. You see that when they're running through the forest? One person has like a dookie stain on their pants. I was watching. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Actually, I thought I saw something. I couldn't remember if that was that or Nightmare on Elm Street 3, but I thought I saw like a brown stain.
Yeah, there's like a brown stain like when they're running through the forest. Like that one guy has like Dookie, and they flee. This is like my notes will get real sparse now. Dookie in his pants as they flee for the car. How many cars did they park randomly and have trunks with guns? Because once again, they pull out guns out of the trunk of this car.
Oh yeah, so
this hitherto unseen car they just get into and they have guns.
Yeah, so they get out and then the one dude's like, I'm gonna go finish him off. The mullet dude with the red shirt.
long hair goes back to fight.
He takes off all his gear. I'm like, they've been shooting at you.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you taking off your bulletproof vest? Okay, take off the mask. Who the fuck cares at this point?
Yeah.
We want to be able to tell who you are. But he takes off everything so he can look cool. I'm like, that's pretty, you want to look badass.
Yeah, he pulls big frizzy freaking mom hair.
Yeah. So he
80s
pulls,
mom hair.
He pulls out he gets a rocket launcher.
Yep.
And
the aliens find the car that they drove off in and start getting inside of it.
And like start fucking playing around.
Yeah.
And then this is a Mars Attacks kind of moment because they turn on the music and they're like, oh, we don't like it.
Yeah, Mars Attacks, another movie I wish I watched instead of this one. That's another gross out movie that I really love. Oh god, but yeah, long hair guy blows up the car and then he runs forward and blows up the house, which I think is probably my what's the other one? The other besides
air
Cream of the
freshener?
Crop, air freshener with the ironic scene.
Yes, I love the car explosion. I literally
it was so ridiculous.
It was so cathartic too.
Oh, God,
I mean, it was
so
like
dumb.
a mushroom cloud. Like it literally looked like finding a mini
way
nuke.
bigger than a freaking than that rocket launcher would do that tiny little bug.
Yeah, it was like it was literally like riding a mini nuke in Fallout 3.
Yeah, it was.
You see the mushroom cloud.
That was a big mushroom cloud explosion.
Oh
so
god,
ridiculous.
it was great. Also, the collector and what's his name, Brian or whatever.
Yeah.
They introduced themselves. I'm like, kind of late for
this.
this.
They finally say each other's names. Like, hey, I'm blah blah blah. I'm blah blah blah. Let's
I don't know
go.
who they are. I didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't write anyone's name down. He shoots the house, which I thought, that was my air fresh or the other one. Because that was my ironic because it looks so fucking. The car was absurdly gigantic explosion. Then he shoots the house and like a tiny one room of it blows up. And
Yeah, they even say at one point they're like, "Don't ruin the house." I'm like, it's full of aliens.
Like, that's a historical landmark. I'm like, and then later at the end, it literally is a ship. So what the hell is he talking about?
It was a really Rocky Horror moment.
Yeah, exactly. Glasses
Somewhere
finally
over the rainbow, houses fly.
Oh god, Glasses finally makes it into the house.
Oh god. Oh yeah, the leader's alive, and he has the chainsaw, and he cuts a hole into it just for him to walk.
Yeah, that was so. Did he start cutting? I don't know if I looked away or what, but he was like all I saw was like he's like approaching the house. I look down, I look up, and then like there's like a whole shape of him falling forward, and he's like walks through it with a chainsaw. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This movie's so stupid.
Like they only really show him like sticking it in and just kind of moving up, and then it falls out, and literally it's
literally his
just,
perfect body cut
the
out.
The door's right next to him too.
Yeah,
he
so
does
ridiculous.
it right next to the door.
It's so stupid.
Then he kills the alien was this one where he does like all the way down?
Not yet. That's way
Cuts him in
later.
half,
That's later. He's still like cutting up people. They kill a bunch of aliens. They kill a bunch more.
I love some of these are my favorites. So he gets a good chainsaw kill.
Yeah.
And then Mullet or red shirt guy.
Yeah.
He goes in. He does like a punching bag face.
And he's
with
like,
the one
"Quick,
dude, and then kicks him in the
He's
groin.
like, hey, quit playing with them. And then like he like tells him to stop fighting them or whatever.
And this is where Derek, after he chainsaws one of the aliens, picks up random goop and puts it into his head.
Yeah, takes his belt off of his head and puts like a fistful of like random goo into his brain.
It's like literally like overflowing.
Yeah, it doesn't even fit anymore. It just continues to look gross and weird.
And I'm like, I wrote, he sticks alien brain goop into his head? Question mark, exclamation point.
And then, like, the house starts rumbling or whatever, finally, and then they start leaving, but then on the way out...
No, not yet. You missed one of my favorite comedy moments. So, he runs into this alien, and who's putting out his fist. He's without a weapon in this point.
Yeah.
So he puts it on his machete or whatever, and he's getting ready to fight, and then the other dude just comes and boom!
Yeah, shoots him.
Headshot, kills him.
So stupid.
I thought that was great comedy.
Because
Did you expect him to just come in and one shot? You thought it was going to be a fist fight, didn't you?
I guess I was surprised at what happened, but it was still like... that's when he buffles that line about like, alright, we're playing with them. And then they like, go on with the movie. I'm just like, okay.
I thought that was good comedy.
Oh, God, that was awful.
I thought it was hysterical. And then
God.
Derek he like chainsaws someone, like, right? Because again, get the drop on him.
Yeah.
He has the drop on them. Doesn't do anything. And then Derek chainsaws him in half.
Yeah, of course.
And they're like, Derek, you're alive! And he looks like he's going to kill them. So
It's like, let's get out of here. And then they flee from the house, and this is when finally long-haired guy gets shot. One of them finally gets hit.
I think the leader shoots him in the leg.
Maybe.
And he's suddenly able to shoot him again a few more times in the leg.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Because the house starts rumbling, and then like the ground is suddenly like a really shitty, cheap tarp. I'm like, what the hell?
You still miss another good moment.
Oh, what?
So, before that happens, Derek and the leader are facing off. And, squinchy face guy goes and runs to get the rocket launcher. It's like, rocket launcher! So they have one more left.
Yeah.
So he goes, he pulls it up, and he fires at the leader. The leader dodges it. Derek dodges it and goes through the hole behind him.
Yeah,
and it hits a random sheep. And then
that's so stupid. Yeah, I missed that comedy beat.
Apparently, that sheep shows up a bunch in the original version before they edited it. Mm-hmm. It all got cut eventually. But that sheep supposedly had like a running gag.
I think I saw a sheep like early when they were driving into the town, like up on a hill. There was like a weirdly like pointed out sheep, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I was like, this is another moment where it's like, you think, it's going to hit the house. They both dodge it, and it hits this random sheep. And they show the explosion.
That's so ridiculous.
I thought that was another great comedy moment. That was an air freshener, my air freshener.
That was your air freshener? All right.
Like that, and then the shooting the guy instead of the
fist
fight.
The fist fight too.
I literally wrote, perfect comedy moment, because it subverted your expectations
in
an interesting way, and I literally
I was so checked out of the movie by that point. I was just like, it's still going.
By the way, now you know how I felt when I watched Justice League.
Yeah, I understand, and I feel sorry ashamed of my words and deeds.
So now we get to the leader gets into his weird, I don't know where the hell this came from, this room.
Also, the lawn was suddenly look like a tarp, like a shitty tarp, and I was like, what the fuck? Why does it look like a shitty tarp now?
Well, so that way...
Because it is a shitty tarp.
It was so that they could try to get off.
Yeah.
Which, it takes the squinchy face dude forever to get off.
Yeah.
And at this point, red shirt dude was like near the... He fell pretty close.
Yeah, but like as the tarp is being like sucked into the ship or whatever, like he's getting dragged towards it, and then like...
But somehow he doesn't move.
Yeah, he does not move.
And he can't really do much because he's like, his whole leg is shot.
Yeah.
And then the ship takes off.
Yeah, the cheap house, the tarp-looking lawn and the cheap house are above a hidden spaceship. Question mark. The ship takes off, but Glasses is on board.
I thought Red Shirt died. Because he
was halfway into the ship. Like he was halfway crushed by the ship before they picked him up and carried him off.
Oh, we made it, and then he falls, and then he just kind of collapses asleep. And I'm
in the car, or
before they get to the car.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, did he just die right here?
Yeah, I thought he died too. Or he gave him this like weird little like the guy from freaking Willy's Wonderland, like little chewing cigar. I don't know if it was a cigar or a Slim Jim. And then
this was a cigar.
Was it a cigar? Because it looked like a goddamn Slim Jim. I don't know if it was lit or not, but like he puts it in his mouth and he takes it out of his mouth and puts it in his own mouth. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then he just kind of falls down. Like, did he just die?
Yeah, I assumed he was dead too. I was like, was that what just happened? Or and the ship. This is where you get the ship taking off scene with the ball with the boss, the Glasses guy on top. Like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah,
and then he says like they're like, all right, we lost the third class laborers, but we're perfectly fine. Don't worry.
He used that to rotary telephone.
Yeah, rotary telephone. Yeah, so stupid.
He's like, oh yeah, we lost our third neighbors. Don't worry, we got our samples, and they'll definitely get we'll come back with a bigger force.
Yeah, very stupid. And then he wanders through his ship, and this is when we get a giant hole cut out of the ceiling, and then he says, I wrote down this line because it's so stupid. Suck my spinning metal steel, shithead.
Well, more that I what she wrote about the makeup. I thought that I could see some good.
The masks?
I thought this mask had a little more emotion because it was like that head throbbing.
when they talked or whatever, like a couple of bubbles on their head like moved and twitched a little bit.
I saw some good emotion in this when he was talking.
Oh gosh.
But
That's when you can see the actor's eyes in the suit.
yeah. So he cuts the hole in the ceiling. He says that.
Yeah.
And he
flips. Spinning steel, shithead.
And I already got killed by a 69 failure.
Yeah, God.
Because he follows Chainsaw first through the leader alien.
Yeah, dude, his head really like wobbling through him like for like 20 minutes with the rubbery outfit just like blowing back and forth.
And he comes out his anus.
Yeah, he comes out the bottom. He's like squatting. He comes out the bottom of him. It's so gross.
When he finally falls out, he's covered in goop and gore and gross.
It's so
he looks
ridiculous.
at the camera and he goes, "I'm born again."
Yeah, so stupid. I literally was just like groaned so loudly when he said that. I'm like, this is awful.
So apparently he was able to hollow this dude out because he calls aliens back on the rotary telephone.
Yeah, he's like, I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you, bastards. And then he puts on the suit.
Yeah, the guy's like the alien guy's body. Like he's a outfit.
He's like waffling.
Yeah, it's so
He's
stupid. Waffling.
That's actually, I'm coining that phrase.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Waffles where he laughs and wiggles.
Oh god. And then
and he's just in the ship going,
just flying the ship somehow to wherever it's going. And then finally comes back to the government guys and the rando in the Beatles car.
And Richard's okay.
Yeah, Richard guy's okay in the back. And then they drive off into the sunset going wherever they're going. And then the movie finally ends and I'm finally released from this hell.
So that's where I wrote, by the way, the film crew and the lead actors were the same guys.
Of course, I'm not surprised at all by that.
And then Peter Jackson working on the special effects.
I'm curious if they worked with him on The Lord of the Rings.
I
hope they did.
I don't know if they did. I mean, someone might have.
They're randos. I'm pretty sure. I hope they came like they followed him that long.
That one dude who doesn't get much in the end after he leaves with the collector.
Yeah.
Brian or Barry, whatever. He passed away in 2010. He only did a few things. Early Peter Jackson. Mm-hmm. He didn't do too much. I did write, by the way. So you know how normally movies have like the all the characters in this were fictional everything was every resemblance to a person living or dead is purely accidental or whatever. I wrote theirs because I thought it was funny. Any similarity with persons living or dead is an accident. Sorry. I paused it to write that down.
Oh, God. I zoomed out and I was just like, let me get the fuck off of Tubi right quick. Yeah, oh god, I thoroughly did not enjoy this movie whatsoever. Well, actually, no, I'll say I enjoyed very, very minor aspects of it, but I'll tell you right now, it is going to be very low in my ranking of all of our movies.
So it's going to be up there for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Our lists are already diverging. We were pretty much like on the same page for the last couple of them, but this is what we need.
Yeah.
God.
So you said your cream of the crop was which again?
The unironic good was the fight with the chef, the mini boss fight with the chef.
Yeah,
I genuinely, like I said, I perked up. That was the first time in this movie I like had a pulse, and I perked up like, oh hey, something cool's happening. The ironic was like, yeah.
I was just say for me, my cream of the crop. Listen, for me, it was my ironic, the air freshener for me was the rocket launcher going through, and then that scene. Mm-hmm. Those are great comedy moments for me. Yeah. See, I gotta go with you the same because like I love the whole action scene, but that's half the movie.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll go with that because I thought that was a fun scene.
Yeah, I thought it was a very cool scene.
It was fun. It was different than the rest of the movie. And then one shotting, it was a little bit scary, and then even subverted my expectations because I thought the collector, because he got knocked out at one point, then he wakes up, you think, oh, he's gonna do something to save because the one dude is like held back and the big chef is coming at him with a knife. And then the collector gets a gun put to his head.
Yeah, I figured he was dead.
And then like, oh, he's about to get killed. And then I thought another dude's gonna die. And then he's able to like, because we didn't mention how to get out of it. He like flips up his legs up so that the chef cuts the belly of the other dude who like falls in half. And then he gets, I think, like, kicked off the building or something.
Yeah, and he like dives at him, he like pushes him over, and he falls off the building and dies too.
Yeah,
that was pretty. Yeah, that was a pretty good thing. But a really fake dummy falls, of course, always. Always, that's appreciated. My ironic one was the rocket launcher hitting the car being too big, and then hitting the house and being too small. Bottom of the barrel.
My air freshener had the
rocket launcher. Both had the rocket launcher. Yeah. Bottom of the barrel.
What was your least favorite part of this?
Probably legit any of the brain stuff with Derek was very dumb and gross and made no sense in the context of the movie whatsoever. He was not an alien, so I was alive and able to just like constantly have gross, weird, stupid stuff happening with him. His whole thing was like nonsense.
See, for the longest time, I even said, like, why is he alive or in this movie at that point? But I thought it paid off at the end, so I didn't. Looking at it now, I don't hate it. I think my least favorite part. I gotta say, I think the eating the slop. Because it was.
I surprisingly didn't mind that part, gross wise. I was like, whatever, that's fine. But then, all the other stuff, I was like, ugh.
It's just me. It was. I didn't mind the gore effects. I like fun kills like that. Yeah. But that was like gross. And then the noises they were making, and then all the burping.
Yeah, the burping was constant afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just like. It was just like. It was just gross.
Yeah, I apologize for all the gross mouth noises, but that's the movie. If you watched it, you should be used to it.
I mean, that was just gross for grossness' sake, where the rest was gross for action's comedy sake, I thought.
But this solidified for me, what was it, horror splatter comedies are not for me. Because I'm thinking back to trauma stuff. But yeah, like even like Tromeo and Juliet, or Welcome Back to, was it Nukai, or even Toxic Avenger, the gross out sections are like never any of my favorite stuff, but the comedy, the like actual verbal comedy or like some of the visual gags are like what I like about those movies a lot. I think those characters can be really, really funny. I didn't like anyone in this movie. I thought Mullikai was the only one who was like vaguely paying attention to because he was like the funniest looking, as opposed to all the ugly other weirdos. Stood out more. He stood the most out because he looked like he was high or drunk the whole movie.
Also, he was the only one wearing a weird outfit. Squishy face guy, I couldn't tell what he was wearing. Yeah. He was just wearing generic clothes. Brian or whatever his name, like he was just wearing generic clothes. Yeah. Derek was wearing a bit of an outfit, but he was in a different movie. Literally,
yeah, I will agree. He was in a different movie the entire time.
So, and then all the aliens except for the leader were the same thing. The leader was just a random old bald guy.
Yeah.
And then the red shirt guy, again, that was his defining trait, was the blonde hair.
Like the chef, he was a distinct character.
He was a bit more distinct.
Among a vast cast of unwatchably ugly or boring people.
Yeah. He was for me, it was just a big version of everybody else too.
Yeah. He was more extreme than any, because he was the only one who was like more like, I guess his like.
Did he wear an apron
quote unquote? I don't know, but his quote unquote like character trait was that he liked action movies, and so that stood out.
Yeah,
that was appreciated. But stuff like Tromeo and Juliet, stuff like even Poltergeist or Toxic Avenger or Welcome Back to Nukai. The gross stuff, whatever, the like funny writing and the funny character, all of those have really signature characters.
That is true.
This movie did not have that.
Yeah,
it had a little bit of a couple of visual gags, like the slipping, but like it was nothing. This movie is like for me. I didn't look up reviews. Are we doing a review thing?
Nah.
I'm about to say we dropped that bit. We didn't. So after the one like 3-minute long one you did for Avatar, it's like, okay, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah, I think
this movie's pretty well received though, so it's appreciated. I'm glad it did well. I'm glad people who like it. It's not my type of movie, but I'd say for me, I'll go first since I know what we had for you rank wise. Actually, do you want to go first since this was your pick?
Yeah. So obviously, still Freddy Got Fingered is number one.
Of course.
Ironically, this movie. Because we haven't Freddy Got Fingered.
I know, we got to think of one.
This movie...
I'll say my least favorite part of Freddy Got Fingered, my bottom of the barrel was I think it might have been...
Was it the bone?
No, the bone was fine, but the elephant cum shot was very shitty. Oh, no, also the horse jacking off scene was my bottom of the barrel.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, another gross out thing, which I was like, oh, get this out of the movie. I have a very sensitive palate.
The bone scene was kind of...
The bone scene was funny.
Basically...
Yeah, the bone scene never bugged me, but that elephant, the actual real horse dick jacking off was like the bottom of the barrel for me forever.
I think, you know what this movie was, bad taste? This was literally the deer carcass scene.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Was that the bottom of the barrel for one of us, or was that the...
I don't think so.
I don't think it was Cream of the Crop either, or the air freshener for us, but that was a sillier scene, though, because it was so fake. But then also, what was happening was, like... I think it was more funny because it was so stupid and like an otherwise like serious thing for what's called Gord is such a fun character that I cared about him doing something so stupid and gross.
Yeah, fun character. But yeah, he did literally. That's this movie though.
Absolutely.
It's gore covered for like pointless sakes. randomness. People surviving.
Gordy.
People surviving when they shouldn't, and then random terrible dummies.
Yeah, but that movie had tons and tons of funny stuff in between every scene of that.
It sure did.
But yeah, that's why I forgot my rankings. That's why Freddy Got Fingered is still number one.
Oh, definitely.
It still has not been beaten. I do want to try to get to, because it's the perfect mix of insanely bad and perfect for the podcast, but so absolutely funny and like ridiculous.
Freddy
Got Fingered, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you rank this one out?
Well, so Freddy's number one.
Yeah, but I don't even know if we got to your list.
Yeah, we didn't. Because we started going talking about Freddy Got Fingered.
It's so good.
It is. I mean, literally, it's still. I challenge movies to beat it.
I can't think of anything that like could pause it to be like that. Like once again, that like surprisingly excellent. But yeah.
Yes, I still say Willy's Wonderland's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was viscerally more fun.
Yeah,
and I cared more about the characters a lot. And
absolutely,
the plot was there, even though it was super paper thin.
And Nick Cage didn't give a shit about it.
he did and did.
Yeah. Oh no, the plot. I'm saying he didn't care about the plot.
Yeah,
but
the character didn't care about the plot.
Yeah.
It happened.
It was excellent.
It was there.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I'd see. This is up. I feel like I want to say that this is number 3, and then Troll 2.
Really?
Yes, because Troll 2 had like both movies. I feel like this movie, Bad Taste, had better writing in a way, and it had a lot more fun scenes because Troll 2 was a lot more gross for gross's sake, and there was moments with a lot of dead air. This movie, while the opening was very dead air, the whole back half was it was literally an action scene.
Yeah.
The whole ending.
Literally, yes.
So it kept up, it just kept things going, and it didn't. And in a way, like there were a few moments that were definitely goopy and gory, but it had like smaller moments in between those with some of them. Like it would have a small little blood cum shot, followed by a dude getting literally shot through the stomach.
Yeah.
But then some other small moments, and then a dude gets his head caved in, and then like all these little like moments in between. I felt like it was nice. It was like it ebbed and flowed. Troll 2 was all or nothing. All or nothing. It was goopy gory or it was stupid terrible lines. This movie kind of...
Hey man, I appreciated those stupid terrible lines and how self-serious it was.
I mean, that's why it's still up there above, like...
Of course.
I think I said Fantasy Island was after that, then Banana Splits, then Resident Evil, Justice League's 4-hour-long fuckfest. And then
that'd have been a different movie.
Still that's the movie we didn't get.
That's the third one he wanted.
Bruce Cuck Superman. And then still the bottom is Last Airbender.
Of course. Yeah, I want to say my ranking for everything except for the last 2 we've done is like pretty much the same. Freddy Got Fingered, excellent, amazing.
Yes.
Willy's Wonderland, fucking a real quality movie.
Yep.
Then for me, Troll 2. And then after that, Snyder Cut for me. That's where Snyder Cut lands, pretty middle, but high. Then Fantasy Island, which I still say I enjoyed enough. Like between those 3 movies, Troll 2 I would watch definitely before the other 2. I would watch Snyder Cut before Fantasy Island again. And then Banana Split / The Hug. And then for me, that's where Bad Taste comes in. Because I'm not going to ever see this movie again, nor would I put anyone through this movie willingly. But then Resident Evil, and then fucking Last Airbender.
I'd over Resident Evil at least.
Yeah, but yeah, because like I would watch, like I didn't want to, I'll never want to look at this movie again, but I fucking despised watching Resident Evil more angrily worse than I disliked this movie that I can appreciate is good for other people, but not for me. Resident Evil was fucking awful, and I had to watch it multiple times over the span of like a year.
That's right.
So, and then Last Airbender, of course, is just a curse upon all of us.
It is. That is so bad. So, yeah, I definitely can understand that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this movie, even though you didn't care about the characters, there was no establishment and things.
Of course.
So
it was a totally different movie. Yeah.
You could enjoy parts of it without any investment, but you would go into Resident Evil 2 with the previous film, so you even know some of the characters. And then it starts throwing characters you know.
Any
Jill
game knowledge
Valentine and Carlos Oliveira or whatever. But they don't do anything.
Yeah, they're done poorly, and then the action is... I would say the action is more boring than this movie was gross, and that made me upset. That movie was boring.
Yes.
So yeah, the action was boring, and then the rest of it writing was bad. This movie was terrible writing, but at least the gore was interesting. And then, like I said, a couple of occasionally visually stupid, funny things. But like that movie was fucking just annoying and bad and boring. But yeah, like I said, I'll never say this movie's bad. I appreciate it as it is, and it's not for me. It's not a genre I particularly want.
It wasn't your taste?
Yeah, it wasn't my. It was in fact a quite bad taste for me.
Oh, ayo.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this story. Everything else you want to add for the movie?
I said just that I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was on a high afterwards.
Excellent, yeah.
It was the kind of goopy, gory. I said I like those kind of movies.
Absolutely, I understand.
Yeah, there was some grossness in parts, but I don't know, like if it serves the film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we did this one too because we had a big long time between.
Oh yeah.
Our previous recording and Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And I toyed with the idea of like Brain Dead, Dead Alive.
Yeah.
Whatever you're at and it's called.
You could have double featured it and probably like covered both the plots in it.
I mean, we could have, but I feel like that would be a disservice to both.
Of course, yeah.
And I think someday we'll probably do Dead Alive because that is a movie that I enjoy, but it's a garbage movie in a good way.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a garbage movie in a bad way, but for me it circled around to being good. Mm-hmm. That I feel like is actually a good, entertaining movie.
All right.
So it'll be done eventually. And also I think we're going to hit I'm sure eventually we're going to hit a point where we're watching just garbage film after garbage, like literal, like I hate my life.
Yeah, I appreciated the juxtaposition between this and Snyder Cut in terms of like literally length because this was pretty short.
Oh yeah,
but then also content and tone and quality and everything else. Like completely opposites. Like literally one's up and the other.
Yeah,
complete opposites.
It
Couldn't
really
be more
was.
different. Yeah, that movie was entirely self-serious to its detriment. This movie is wildly stupid and doesn't take itself seriously for a second even.
At all.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll say, like I said, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I figured you would. I'm very curious what our friends would think of it. Because, like, yeah, I'm very curious what, like, Ben and Chris and Tara and Kelly, I don't know.
I don't know if we can get Tara and Kelly to watch this.
I don't think we can get freaking Chris to watch this.
I can get
I mean, yeah, you could trick him to watch. Yeah, you could probably trick him into watching this. If you can, that'd be an interesting take.
Well, hold on. I'm going to see if this works. Hi, Christopher Bowe. It's Ed Bob and Check here. So, if you haven't yet watched it, I'd very much enjoy if you were to watch Bad Taste. You can watch it on Tubi, totally free, and because I know you're not a fan of gotcha things, Tubi does not allow you to buy your way out of ads. So there's some ad breaks, which they're not too long, maybe about a minute or so. Totally free. You can sign in with your Amazon account if you have one, which I don't think you do.
Can you?
You can, but I think you can sign up for other ways.
I signed through Google, yeah.
Yeah, Google, whatever. So you can watch it totally free with no, buy your way out of anything. It's only about an hour 20. It's about an hour. Yeah,
hour 30.
An hour 30 or so.
Not counting credits, yeah.
And if you were to watch it, it would make me very, very happy, brother. And when we're recording this, I know that things have been crazy, but this is a film that for an hour and a half you can just shut your brain off.
Oh yeah.
And have yourself a nice Mountain Dew. Maybe order, pick up some food.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay, yeah, maybe not order food. Maybe eat afterwards. But if you want to watch it, that would make me very happy.
I bet we kind of just spoiled it. If he's listening to this all the way through, he'll have it spoiled. But it didn't really matter. This movie's a pretty visual extravaganza.
It really is. And if you've already seen it, Chris, thanks, brother.
Nice. All right. So I never remember plugs first or next time first.
Plugs. I literally listened to it tonight when I spent an hour waiting for McDonald's.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to sponsor us, McDonald's, we'll
God! I wish they didn't even sponsor podcasts. That'd be ridiculous. I bet they have a podcast.
McDonald's?
I bet they fucking do. Anyway,
the Hamburglar.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious. Don't steal our idea. I'll sue you. I own the rights to this, damn it. Actually, I don't think I only own the rights to my fucking book. Anyway, speaking of my book, yeah, I'll go first since my minds are fucking spoken of 1,000 times on all my goddamn podcasts. Forgotten Minotaur King, available now on Amazon. Forgotten Minotaur King book, also available, perfectly free and amazing as well. Matthew's podcasts on YouTube, on Twitch, on Patreon, on Twitter.
Is it Matthew Lewis P?
Matthew P is the name, but Matthew Podcasts is the full title.
Okay.
Actually, Spooky Cast right now because we're recording this right before Halloween. But
spooky.
it'll be back to normal eventually. Because this is probably gonna come out way later. Check all that stuff. Matthew, all the channels. Action Toon Bros, check it out. Movie Garbage, you're already listening to it. Go back and listen to our old episodes. Leave reviews, they help. And review my fucking book. I only have one review on Amazon still. I don't know why.
Did I ever review it?
I don't know. One person reviewed it. So fucking give me a 4 out of 5, and I was like, thank you. Anyway, but yeah, review my shit, damn it. I need it.
I guess sworn I did.
You can toss it off on you. What you got?
All right, so you can find me on Twitter at edbobincheck, at EDBOBINCHECK, no underscores or anything. You can also find this podcast on Twitter at movie_garbage. I'm trying to tweet a little bit more. I've been watching Nightmare on Elm Street movies. What time is it now? It's only
Almost 10? Yeah.
So I might actually watch the fourth one tonight. So.
Excellent.
Yeah, you'll be able to take this by my tweet. But I'm trying to tweet a little bit more from there. I don't use Twitter as much. I'm trying to use it for more stuff. So, be sure to tweet at me both there. You can also find me at Twitch at father_bohawk. Father spelled normal _ thing, and then bohawk BOHAWK. I play Pokemon ROM hacks every Tuesday from 8 to 11 p.m. EST. I play a hardcore Emerald Kaizo Nuzlocke. Since our last recording, I played, and we beat Roxanne.
Hell yeah.
I'll spoil that here because I don't care because I was excited. Took her out, only 2 deaths. We lost 2 more on the way, but we are going into Tuesday, literally getting ready to face down Brawley.
Nice. Oh, I was going to say, is that your plugs? Or?
I do a little more random, occasional. Like previous week, I did like 5 recordings or streams. This week, I've only done 1 so far. I'll probably do 1 tomorrow or Monday. But about 2 to 3 times a week, I'll stream other stuff. Pokemon Snakewood. I have a Vanilla Emerald Nuzlocke with hardcore rules. I got Pokemon Kanto Black. And those are just all fun things. Also, I wanted to do a shout out, especially because today. At Little Cutie Viper on Twitter or at I Murder Cupcake on DeviantArt. So I've been using an artwork that I found of theirs from a long time ago. Well, they gave me permission, and I talked about updating it, and they released a new version of Picture of Litwick that's going to be going up soon onto my stuff. Hopefully I'm working with them on getting a commissioned profile picture, but it is so beautiful, and it is so gorgeous, and it is so awesome. So please go to Twitter, go to DeviantArt, find them, favorite it, and give them love, because they definitely deserve it. It was fantastic, and I want to give them a big shout-out.
Hell yeah.
So thank you so much, Cuppy.
Perfect. I was going to say, this is probably going to come out in November. For the Diamond Pearl remix, do you plan on doing a Nuzlocke of those at all?
I mean, I might, but I don't have a
it's insane.
So I'm debating.
Also, I'm sure it's like they are super cracking down on anyone streaming anything of theirs. They're pretty shitty. Nintendo.
Well,
it's not a first party technically, so
right. But Nintendo has gotten laxer with a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I think they finally understood. I mean, heck, I can do Pokemon ROM hacks as long as you don't share like the links to stuff like that.
Yeah,
they usually can get away with it.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna do my fucking bug team thing I do every time because I'm a
there's actually a lot of people. There's a guy on YouTube I've watched recently called Flygon HG. He does a lot of those kind of like type only Nuzlocke.
I love
with the hardcore rules.
Oof.
Which some of those like you have like 6 options.
I can't imagine. That'd be insane.
Pretty impressive.
Ugh.
And so there's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's another shout out by the way to Flygon HG, to Pokemon Challenges, and Wolfie VGC. Who have inspired me to do streaming, so shout out to them.
Is Beautyfly and Dustox Diamond Pearl?
No, that's Gen 3. They were.
So they should be in it, though. Actually, are they catchable?
I don't think they
Why
are.
do I feel like I associate them with that art, with the art style?
Motham is in it. Motham and Burmy and Wormadam.
I fucking hate Burmy.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I think that's...
Burmy turned into Motham.
I know, but...
It's a male, and then
I think
females...
Burmy, and what's the other one? The other form of it?
Wormadam?
I think that literally they might be my least favorite of all 800 plus Pokemon. I fucking hate Burmy. I don't know why.
It's pretty bad.
It's something inside of me just, it angers me.
Honestly...
a Motham I think looks very cool. But I fucking hate Burmy. I don't know why.
I wish Motham was a little more distinct, because it's just another flying bug. But, like...
I like the bugs, yeah.
I like the idea behind Burmy and Wormadam,
yeah,
with them having different forms, but they have like no distinct movesets.
Yeah.
The typings aren't utilized, and their stats are garbage. So it's like you can't even Like, but
You really
dude,
need to start like your own
Beaverell
Pokemon
is
like
actually,
self-cast, dude. You really need your own like self-cast for Pokemon.
I should probably.
They have that, like, or it's an ASMR channel where you just like go over stats. That'd be fun.
I mean, that could be fun too. But I mean, I could do that streaming as well. Of
course.
But
That's
I will
cool.
say, like, I wish they would have something.
Yeah,
like
they're-
like people think, joke about Beebell and Bidoof and Beaverell being garbage, but like that's a normal water type, which in like Nuzlocke, that's actually a good encounter.
Yeah.
And you've got someone who can use HM, so you've got that use. The Sunflora, like it's apparently it's really good in that competition stuff.
Sunflora is so ugly.
Sunflora and Sunkern are bad, but like
Sunkern I like.
Sunkern has like the lowest base stat total of like almost any Pokemon. But in the Pokemon, like so remember Heart Gold Soul Silver, there was that little park where you could do those little mini games.
Yeah.
Apparently Sunkern's awesome in that.
That's cool. I'm about to say, you really start your Pokemon podcast, dude. You have so much knowledge. Speaking of which, like, a ton of specific knowledge. Next movie we're doing.
Oh boy.
We are going to do Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
Now prepare listeners to be weighed down by an overabundance of esoteric Star Wars facts because I am chomping at the bit. I am really hoping we can get some guests on this because there's a lot to discuss. I'm probably going to like deep dive, drive myself insane with freaking Charlie Day charts on like esoteric Star Wars characters and the history of every single Jedi that gets killed in like the one scene that they're in. But I fucking love Star Wars. I wanted to do one for a long time. I was debating for a long time which one to do. This one is like I think the lowest rated before Rise of Skywalker.
Rightfully
But
so.
then, well, I like this, but
Well, I mean, Rise of Skywalker being so
of course,
low rated.
of course. But like in personal Star Wars ranking, Revenge of the Sith is like one of my number ones.
Yeah, which I'm surprised you do want to do it for this movie then.
I do want to do it for this because it's a very poorly scored, horribly received but also Phantom Menace is too boring. And
It is rough to rewatch.
And Attack of the Clones is so in the middle that it's hard to talk about the overarching story arc properly because it doesn't end until Revenge of the Sith. So, yeah.
That is fair.
I hope we get some people on that. I'm going to overload my brain and scream very quickly about Star Wars facts as much as I can.
I'm actually looking forward to this because I got a fun story when I saw it.
Of course.
And especially because like taking out the sequels,
They're going to be
7, 8,
discussed.
9, of course. But like this was, I mean, at the time, this was the end of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
And obviously what we know now, and the clusterfuck that was 7, 8, and 9. Mm-hmm. With, I mean, it's like a arc, and then poof.
Oh yeah, it's that will be debated on the episode.
I mean, yeah.
Because I still have to fucking scream at Ben if he's on the episode. I'm not calling out who I want to have as a guest or not, but his goddamn Star Wars rankings lost my shit. But anyway.
I feel the same way. Because I listened to that. When I listened to that episode, I was yelling at you guys like, "No, you got this wrong. You forgot to talk about this." You don't notice, by the way, I do that a lot. Where I'm like, "You forgot this thing that I've written down," and I spent time writing it down, so you're gonna learn about it.
You need to listen to me talking to Ben on Action Toon Bros. Every 10 seconds, I'm like, "Well, before that," it's like my fucking catchphrase on that show. Well, before that, blah blah blah. But yeah,
apparently that's me on this show.
I thought that's the host's job, man, on any show. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, obviously available on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably overload on extra Star Wars content I don't need to, just like the fucking Bad Batch and Clone Wars.
I would say,
but we'll get there when we get there.
So I guess then there is a recommendation here, since it's probably going to be a bit of time until we get to record, because we want to get at least one guest, if not two.
Yeah.
I think a little more than that might start getting really difficult to record.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the scheduling podcast, as anybody who's vaguely in the know knows, it is a nightmare. Yeah, it is a nightmare to ever schedule anything. It's like
so. I think yes, that's one of the reasons. I mean, granted, COVID did a lot of it.
Of
but,
course, yeah.
I mean, it still took a good month or two after things got a bit better and vaccines got.
Go listen to our terrible Young Justice episode where we tried to remote record and it was awful.
But I definitely think that use this time to not only watch the third, but watch the original. Watch 1 and 2, just to refresh it, because you probably haven't seen it in a while, and you do want a refresher on it.
Watch the machete cut, where you watch, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6, I believe is the order of it. There's a lot of crazy things you can do. I'm probably gonna watch just the specific end of Clone Wars Season 7, where they, like, parallel with the movie. And the Bad Batch was also parallels.
See, I'm working on Nightmare on Elm
That's
Street,
my
so
own.
no.
Yeah, you do you. I'm going to do me because I'm a crazy person.
So, but I think because we'll definitely be talking about more than just episode 3.
Absolutely, I'm not capable of just talking about one Star Wars thing.
I mean, we're doing episode 3, but I mean, in all honesty, is it gonna be just a whole Star Wars
I'm
conversation?
probably going to read the novelization of Revenge of the Sith.
Holy shit, bro.
I'm not kidding. I'm a maniac when it comes to Star Wars.
So, but I definitely think our conversation. I feel like it's gonna be very Last Airbender-y, where we're just.
Oh, it's
talking,
going to be all over the place.
We're not doing the plot. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
throw it out now.
I'm gonna be like, that Jedi was killed with Ki-Adi Mundi, of course. And Ki-Adi Mundi is the only Jedi in the Order who was allowed to get married because his race is. I'm gonna go crazy.
I'm excited. I'm actually excited because I'm the same. I do love Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, we're already getting to the next episode.
We're already starting. God damn it.
But no, like legit, like I do love Star Wars just as much. I'm not to the same way,
course, yeah.
but I still love it. I love the lore. I love the ideas, and I'm also a sucker for a lot of stuff that isn't part of Skywalker. Like I love KOTOR.
Of course. KOTOR's
Which-
fucking amazing. Where's that remake? What's the ETA on that? Damn it.
Who fucking knows?
Whatevs.
It's probably being made by Visceral. It was being made by Visceral Games. So.
They're still alive.
No, they're not. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Just like their Star Wars game was killed by EA.
God. Man, give me that Fallout Order.
Fuck
Fallen
EA.
Order 2. I'll probably play Fallen Order again. That has a crossover section with the Order 66, so...
Wait, Fallout?
Fallen Order.
Oh, I thought you said Fallout for some reason.
Yeah, Fallout. Fallout
Wait.
crossover with Star Wars now.
Fallen Order. When was that game?
Jedi Fallen Order with Cal Kestis came on PS4 and other systems.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's basically Dark Souls.
Isn't it Dark Souls Jedi Knight?
100%. It's just a rogue Jedi with like Dark Souls mechanic. It's a great game.
Which, by the way, I remember I bought Jedi Knight Academy 2 again. I love that game on GameCube. I loved it. The opening was really.
We're already starting Star Wars cast. Damn it.
We are. Listen.
Like you think that but honestly, legit. Like
I love that
you
game.
Think that Star?
I went back.
Justice
I
League.
could not play more than a few minutes. I was so like, how did I like this game?
It's awful. I played it too.
It's like going
awful.
back and learning about anybody that you ever liked and finding out that they're a monster.
Yeah, it was awful. I hated every second of it. I never played it at all. I picked it up and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
games
like,
are hard to get into.
You think our Justice League episode was like scatterbrained and super long recording? This one's going to be even worse, probably.
I mean,
I'm expecting it.
Are we gonna hit the 4? Did we actually? I think we even talked about that on Justice League. Said it's gonna be 5 hours.
We kept talking after the Justice League episode. Like literally a couple of minutes. We could have made that one 3 hours in retrospect.
We very much could have.
Which we're drawing out this one now for like almost up to 2 hours now. But no, still, we can get this down. Yeah,
Hey,
Star Wars.
honestly,
Revenge of the
I like
Sith.
long podcasts. Like I
I do too, dude. I love it because I listen to them at work, and I'm just like, let me put on this 2.5 hours. Hell yeah, put that on and get me through the day.
I hate when they're super short. It's like I wanted to hear about more.
I go
of
back and
these
listen to
things.
old episodes of like how those get made, and they're like an hour or less. And I'm like, what the hell? Really? I used to like
I think
love.
Freddy Got Fingered was barely an hour.
Yeah, Freddy Got Fingered was pretty damn short. Well, we'll probably cover it again when we force our entire cast of friends to watch the
Chris
movie.
watched that movie.
What did he? Oh, well, I mean, honestly, legit. What did he say?
He was not a fan. Well,
Really?
he was, but he was like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" Like he had a lot of Chris reactions. The entire movie. So when we watched Birdemic at the 45-minute mark, if you haven't seen that movie,
Of course,
watch it. But at the 45-minute mark is when things just. I mean, it's basically similar to this, where the first half is one movie, and then the second half is all just craziness. At that mark, he literally has paused the movie. He's like, so you tell, like, he stood up, he was making the hand gestures, he was like, what in the what now? That he was like that during Freddy Got Fingered the entire movie. I'm like, all right, Chris, if we were to do that after every, he did that after so many scenes. I'm like, we gotta stop doing that, Chris, because we're not gonna finish this movie otherwise.
tell me one of his like crazy freakouts. Tell me what scene like was really like what the fuck is this?
I mean, the horse jacking scene was crazy. The jacking scene. The whole, get inside of the animal.
Oh god.
A lot of it. There was a lot of it. Which I forgot about this until we rewatched it again. How was it Betty? Her name was?
Yeah.
Remember how very much into she was getting her legs caned and sucking dick?
Yeah.
This is a fancy restaurant.
A fancy
You're
restaurant.
fucking fired, bro. You're fired.
50,000 fucking Deutschmarks.
God, that movie's so good.
That movie's amazing. That's right, Dad. Oh, you gotta tell me what his reaction to the goddamn. That's right, Dad. You're gonna pay. He's a molester. He's a child molester. Ah. You have to tell me what Chris did.
I remember he was just like, I think at that point he was a little more numbed to the movie. That movie is so good.
That movie's so good.
We're gonna have to get everyone else to watch it.
Oh God.
Honestly, what I think we should do is just cover it like several times with one guest apiece.
Every 10 episodes, so I think we're coming up on 10 now.
Honestly, I'm okay with this. So, I think episode 10 should be revisit a Freddy Finger with Chris Bowe, with a friend of the podcast, Chris Bowe. So.
Oh, jeez. That movie is so stupid.
I
love it. It's so funny. It's so funny. How is it that funny? I can't
also,
even
Tom
help it.
Green, get a hold of us on Twitter. I tweet at you occasionally, and you never even like it. So, Tom Green, come on. I'm giving you love.
I cannot, I just can't, like, every time I think about that movie, I'm like, that was so good.
It is.
It's so stupid and so funny.
It's so dumb, and I love it.
God.
Like legit, I don't know if we're ever going to find a movie to top it. And I want to cover it more times than we do. Just because we're watching it so much, and watching other people's reactions is good. And just hearing what they have to say about it. Because it's so up and down.
It's all over. Oh God. We'll gush about it on the re-record.
We really have gone off topic from bad taste.
Well, what? About what? What were you talking about?
So I guess we'll throw out your final thoughts on bad taste, and I'll throw out mine.
I didn't like it, but it wasn't for me. But I appreciate the quality of the effort behind it, and of course, literally Peter Jackson first starting off making that kind of content. I'm very curious. People say all the time, like between Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles and this, if you ever did go back to like crazy gross out stuff, like how it would be now with his like scale and his like fame and all that, what he could do with that kind of genre now. But yeah, absolutely not for me. I didn't enjoy it at all, but I'm glad other people like it. I'm glad it did well, and it helped him.
Yeah, speaking of people who liked it, I loved it. I was, like I said, I was on a high afterwards, and maybe that's why I did, because I was not a big fan. I'm someone who likes Nightmare on Elm Street 2 more than 3, and apparently 3 is the one that everyone does love.
Yeah. I'm surprised. 2 is very divisive.
Yeah, I thought 2 was great.
I liked it too.
I really enjoyed it, and
it's probably the last time he's actually serious, I think.
I mean, was he serious though? Because there was a lot
relatively to where it's going to go. That's the last time he's serious.
But so maybe that's what ruined 3 for a bit for me. But I thought this was a blast. Like, it was so dumb, and you could tell it was so fake and stupid. But I just love that kind of stuff. I was saying, like, I'm gonna get my dad to watch this movie because I feel like he would enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Because he might, obviously, this is a movie. This is almost like the end of that era. This was the old school style. This was just comedy splatter versus like horror splatter or whatever.
Yeah. Like I said, whenever I say like, it's a Halloween, we could have like ranked like horror. I was gonna pitch that we like rank horror movies like
I haven't
stuff
seen
like
lot.
that. But I was gonna say like personally, like I said recently, like ranking them wise between like favorites or like most kills or most interesting or whatever. I really, really love Ghostface in all the Scream movies.
Oh, he's great.
I've learned to really love that character a lot. And that's the only character I purchased in Dead by Daylight is Ghostface because I love Ghostface so much.
But it's interesting too that he's so good because he is different people every time.
It's different people, yeah. And like the one in that game is a different one between all the other people. But I like Jason movies. I absolutely love Michael Myers movies. The new one, like I said, probably the most intense kills I've seen in any movie.
See, we went to go see the one and Emergency at Home, Parenting Emergency. I didn't get to see any of the real kills.
Yeah, but like
so,
it's
I haven't seen the one. I think I saw the Rob Zombie version.
I like that's another one. People absolutely despise those movies. I like them a lot. I like both of those movies, but like everyone unanimously shits on them like crazy.
I can understand it.
That's a tone that not a lot of people do not like.
It's because it was very Rob Zombie like, right?
Oh yeah.
So I can understand that.
It's a specific tone. Like I like his other movies too. Like, but that's a movie. I like those movies, but they're insane.
I can't really rank Jason because the only 2 I've seen is Jason in Space, which I love, and then Freddy vs. Jason, which I'm excited to get to that one again.
That movie's fucking great.
It's so good.
Like that what you're watching going up to it?
I'm working my way to it. That wasn't why. I think I saw it on HBO. Max,
I saw they had it there.
And I saw the collection. Like, I've never seen these movies. I kind of want to watch it. And then
that's because I had our whole group just randomly watch Freddy vs. Jason, where I don't think any of them, besides maybe Ben,
this was months ago.
It was years ago.
Yeah,
we were all like in person still hanging out, so that had to at least have been like 2019.
I was living with Chris at the time.
Yeah, that was years ago.
That was at that apartment.
Yeah, so years ago, I just forced them all to just none of them very tertiarily familiar with Freddy and Jason in their own series, and I had them watch that movie, and it went over pretty damn well. Yeah, it even had you intrigued.
Jason in Space was pretty dumb, but
that movie was very dumb. dumb but very funny.
But I mean, who else is there? I've never seen any of the Hellraisers.
You've seen Chucky.
I've seen the first Chucky.
I'm looking forward to this. The continuity.
Isn't there a TV show?
There's a current TV show continue because that Mark Hamill reboot was very bad.
I haven't seen
But the movie, the TV show follows the other series with Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
That continuity, and it's still like amazing. I hear, and I haven't started it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
I've heard a lot of work about
Yeah,
talk
the
about
Brad Dourif that Chucky run is really really good.
I remember seeing The Bride. I think it is where he gets his girlfriend
Yeah.
turn. I remember that one, and I think that was all right. But
that was the fourth one, I believe.
I think honestly, the behind the scenes for that is
They're
up
always
there for me.
fascinating. Yeah,
So,
Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif are amazing.
yeah.
And also, Brad Dourif's daughter in the I believe it is the 7th and 8th movie she's in. She's really good in those two. In the movies, Chucky movies.
There's 7 and 8 movies of Chucky?
There's more than that. There's like also the series and then the reboots.
There's only like 4 or 5.
No, there's a lot.
Jesus Christ.
And also like there's several like fake out reboots in there that you think it's a reboot but it's not, and it's really good.
Where would you rank Leprechaun?
I think those are hilarious. They're so stupid. They're probably the stupidest of any of these horror movies because they start stupid and continue stupid. Also, yeah, we're gonna hit 2 hours. I will say that
Halloween.
Warwick Davis is a great actor. Once again, a Star Wars regular from the beginning.
Yeah,
literally. He was a kid in the first one, and he's in every single movie. But I love Leprechaun movies. They're very funny. In the Hood is fucking amazingly funny.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That's the only one that they covered on How Did This Get Made. The first In the Hood.
Yeah,
the second one in the Hood movie is very bad, but the first one's very funny and good.
I remember seeing the first, and that's the one I fully remember.
The first
watching.
Leprechaun.
But I enjoy it. Yeah, it's
that movie has a ton. You wouldn't have that movie has a ton of sequels I've never seen. Ton of reboots, ton of sequels in like the continuity.
That's crazy. I know Jennifer Aniston's in it too.
Yeah, in the first one. All those movies. Kevin Bacon's in the one. Freaking Billy Zane. Kevin Bacon is in the first Jason movie, or first Friday Night Freeze. The first Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Then Johnny Depp in the first.
I was going to say, when I saw that, I was like, wait, introducing?
Yeah, there's a lot.
I was surprised.
You'd be
I
surprised
didn't even know that was him.
At how many
also
huge horror actors.
At this point, in 3 movies, his death scene in Nightmare on Elm Street was still the best.
Yeah, I
loved it.
It was great. But I saw, what was it, Critters 1. Billy Zane popped up, and I was like, "What the hell is he doing in this shitty random horror movie?" Critters, I watched that randomly. I thought that was pretty
I want to see those. I remember I used to have an Alien book when I was a kid, and that was in there. That and Creeps.
Yeah, Phantasm. Have you seen those?
No.
Oh, yeah. I saw. Those movies are fucking Kingdom Hearts level insane continuity.
You know what movie is definitely a really great horror film still to this day?
What?
And it's hard because the later stuff is not. First Alien. That is up there with, I feel like, some of the best horror, and that's obviously
Yeah. I'd say that's an epically long debate: Alien versus Aliens, which people like more for the first one and the second one.
See, I feel like both are great.
They're completely different genres.
Yes,
one's a horror action movie, one's a like slasher practically in space.
I think it's a suspense horror.
Yeah, and I probably say between those two, I like Aliens more. But honestly, I'm a fucking psycho freak because I like Alien Requiem, the fourth one.
I've never seen that one.
The one
I saw the first
directed by
3.
Joss Whedon with that disgusting half alien creepazoid.
I haven't seen it yet.
I've
never seen Prometheus and hating that.
Prometheus sucked shit.
It was so bad.
Alien Covenant also kind of sucked shit, but had some good stuff in it. But yeah, I like Requiem.
The first Aliens vs Predator was actually pretty good.
Alien vs Predator is both of them I like, but
they're
bad in their own right.
The second one was rough, but the first one I remember there was. Or no, that was a different movie. But
the first one was in the snow or in the pyramid.
But there was a moment where there's a few moments where the alien just would jump down, grab someone, pick them up, and it was that was hysterical.
I love the one thing I really love about the first Alien vs Predator is grid. The one alien kills 2 predators, whereas the predators are wiping out hundreds of aliens. But then one alien kills 2 of the predators of the 3 that are in the whole movie. One alien takes them both out. It's just holy shit.
Yeah.
Grid's great. That's probably my favorite. Of all the 7 or 8 Alien movies, Grid's probably my favorite character in any of them over Ripley because he's fucking dope as hell.
It's hard. I said it is hard to debate between the Alien and Aliens. Mm-hmm. I did start watching the How Did This Get Movies That Made Us. They have one about Alien. Apparently, the Queen they made a trash bag to get it to work.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty cool. But
it looks amazing. That design is incredible.
Apparently, the whole movie is about motherhood, which is interesting. It's mother versus mother. And
have you ever played Isolation?
I've not yet.
I've heard
great things about it, and I think it's Alien, the video game.
Yeah.
I said, it's really it's got to be similar to what your taste is. Because, I mean, both films are fantastically made.
Yeah,
the first one is if you like the suspense, horror, 1v many, OP, versus whatever, like that's the one for you. But if you like the action-y, like if you like, basically, do you like the original Resident Evil or do you like RE4?
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
Or do you like Alien Isolation or Aliens Fireteam, which just came out, that like multiplayer shooter one where it's like a horde mode?
I heard it was dumb fun.
I heard it was, same, but like that first Alien Isolation and Aliens Fireteam, they're different genres and stuff. We're literally over 2 hours now with this goddamn episode. I did not expect that. But yeah,
me neither.
But we're bringing it back again to something we talked about freaking 2 hours ago. Jigsaw, the freaking Saw series. Another great horror series that I like. That people shit on torture porn quote unquote movies all the time, but like literally everyone's like slashers aren't like knife porn or whatever people call them too. It's like they're all bad. They're all crazy murder movies.
It depends on what I feel.
I love the Jigsaw series. I love all of them. Every single one of them I enjoyed to death, and I watched all of them in a row.
I feel like that. I mean, those are definitely satisfying because it is people doing it to themselves in a way at times. And, like, there are some that are like, completely unfair.
Yeah, that's also a plot point that some of them are unwinnable and they're just disgustingly awful ways to die.
At least they have, like, ways to explain that away, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Hostel, honestly, that's probably that's probably the closest to this with, like...
Is that gore, super gore porn?
It is explicitly just, like, actually people being tortured by, like, crazy assholes, but... There's an internal plot, which is a very fucking paper thin, like very much like this. But that is another thing, like, it is practically like pure gore, pure like cringy horror, like awfulness. Like, oh, it's so disgusting. But there's no plot in those movies. Those movies are brain dead stupid. Like
one movie that was I definitely would never watch again. And I haven't seen the sequel or the original. I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh yeah,
that movie. Rough.
I don't mess with any of those movies. Those in The Hills Have Eyes. I don't. None of
The
those.
Hills Have Eyes.
Same, pretty much, but like with a hillbilly crazy family doing that. God. Those I don't mess with.
That movie.
I don't watch any of those. Those I don't like. I'm tertiarily familiar with them, but like
it's uncomfortable from start to end.
Yeah, no, I don't. Those I don't mess with.
The most enjoyment is you get to see her take revenge, but even then it's hard to watch because it's. Oh
yeah, those I never mess with. Nah, I don't.
There's a movie I was just thinking about, and it just popped out of my head. Paranormal Activities.
How many of those have we watched together?
We've watched at least 4 or 5.
It was the fourth one was the one with that the blonde actress who's in a ton of stuff now.
I think so. The
first one, fifth one was the one with that Hispanic family. That one was really really good, but got a ton of shit. The one with the one that took place in that like Hispanic area of town with like all the Hispanic people being hunted by the ghosts, and you find the actual origins of them.
Vaguely, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that one was good. The marked ones.
Next Kin is the next.
I saw the commercial for it. That's going to be on Paramount Plus. I've heard. I think, which I'm upset because I don't have Paramount Plus. I think it might be on Tubi though. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I like that series.
Yeah, it's
definitely
up and down.
Oh yeah, but also
first one was
really
great.
Series. Oh, first one was great. I liked the second one. The third one it was pretty stupid.
It was stupid, but
that was the one where they were kids, right? The third one was when they were kids. Fourth one was the garbage one. Was the blonde. Well, yeah, that blonde one and her new family.
Yeah, that one was really bad.
Oh no, wait, the kid was like the neighbor.
It was like they were kidnapping people.
You thought there was like her little brother and there was a kid next door who was a weirdo. And you thought, oh, the kid next door is the kid from the first 2 movies. But then it turns out her little brother is like an adopted person, and that's the actual kid, and they're trying to take him back. That was a twist in that movie.
Yeah, that was...
it's a fun discussing big horror stuff now. We could do this for... If I was releasing this near Halloween, it would have made sense, but...
So, I mean,
it's gonna be weeks later, probably.
So, I mean, this is a good jumping off point for this film. Because of course. This movie was apparently influential to lots of things.
They said it was a horror comedy, right?
It was, it's more sci-fi.
Yeah.
But it's spooky, it's
vaguely
goofy, it's gory.
And we're recording it personally just around Halloween time.
Exactly.
So why not?
So, hey, thanks for still listening.
I know, if you're this goddamn far past our plugs, like, Jesus Christ, we're probably almost did like 30 minutes past the plugs already with just random other talk. But yeah, I love horror stuff. As a genre, I appreciate it.
Sinister was another good movie.
Sinister 2. Excellent.
I love 2 as well.
Sinister 2 was very funny, but it was like... It wasn't
as good, but I like that.
It wasn't as good, but it was very funny and interesting. Yeah, it was just as interesting with the tapes and the art of the kids trying to find different art ways to kill their family or whatever.
Yeah,
that was a very cool concept.
Yeah, the Conjuring series.
Honestly, I will say that I enjoy them. I enjoy all the spin-offs like La Llorona and The Nun and all the Annabelle movies. Well, the first Annabelle movie was totally pointless. The prequel one and the one that's like straight up a Conjuring like tie-in were really, really good.
See, I haven't seen those two. I saw first one.
The first one was like a random family in the 70s.
Is that the way it was? I just remember
It was that one didn't make any
bad.
sense and it was bad. But then the next one was a prequel that actually talked about the actual like origin of the doll for real and who that weird. Remember that? Like you remember.
I don't remember much.
Yeah, but
people jumping out windows.
Yeah, if you watch the Annabelle movie, the first one, it's like very stupid. It seems kind of like pointless. The prequel goes up to that movie and explains everything before then, and it makes that movie retroactively a lot more interesting. And then the one after that is literally like in the Conjuring house. Annabelle's in there, and then like activates a bunch of other monsters and ghosts. Like,
oh my god,
it's very goofy, but that was an alright movie.
I love the first Conjuring.
I liked the Conjuring 2.
The Nun was, I
like
remember
Conjuring
the
2
Nun.
more.
I thought. I do like 2 was good too.
I liked it. The British one with that actual the other haunting.
That had the nun in it, and then it also had like a weird guy in it.
Yeah, the like Angly man or whatever, Angle guy or whatever.
Yeah, he was creepy.
That was pretty good, yeah. And then did you see the last Conjuring one, the one that just came out?
No, not yet.
It was pretty good. It was alright. It was probably weaker than like most of the others in the series, but it was alright. Also, yeah, I remember the Warren.
The Nun was pretty good. I remember the Nun. It
was interesting.
It was a very slow burn.
Oh yeah,
but it was memorable.
It was
I remember
very memorable.
a lot of the shots, a lot of the concepts.
I think it's the only like original one, like original concept at all of any of them, because like Annabelle's an actual doll.
What was the
and
movie?
The La Llorona is an actual folk tale. So I think the Nun is the only original. The Conjuring 2s are based off of real cases from the Warrens,
which are very
controversial. Yeah, but I listen to a bunch of real crime or like horror podcasts, and like everyone hates the Warrens. Like all of them unanimously, they're bad, looked down upon people in the community. So.
Apparently, the whole Amityville thing too is controversial.
Yeah. And the British haunting from the second one is also, but
that's right.
People don't like the Warrens in general. They think that they're really like pieces of shit, which is funny and interesting. But like that whole series is very fascinating. I think I like them a lot.
Yeah, and what you don't like, whether you like them or not, the stories at least are
yeah.
The stories around stuff, and I mean if they're just, I think it's where you get to the Sylvia Browne kind of psychic form of things.
Oh yeah.
That's where the problems of them I think exist.
Dude, you have to watch the last one. She literally like fights an evil necromancer version of her, the main Warren woman, where her like psychic powers that help her stop ghosts. She fights an evil woman who can like is manifesting the ghosts, and they battle psychically as witches or whatever. It's insane. It's so stupid.
Oh boy!
It's available on HBO Max. Check it out if you feel like it.
Oh boy!
Hey, that'd be a good Halloween thing to make your kids watch The Conjuring.
You know what movie series? I think it just kind of vanished. Insidious. Remember those movies?
Yeah. There was The Last Key. I didn't see it. I heard it was stupid and bad.
We saw the third one in theaters, didn't we? Because I think
those movies run together like crazy.
Drank beforehand because I remember there was a jump scare near the end with the face in the closet.
That freaked us. Yeah, that freaked us both out.
Not only that, I just freaked me out because I was a little tipsy at this point. The point in the movie still.
Yeah.
I literally jumped.
Yeah.
My head in the air.
We were that little thing in the corner. Yeah, we were just watching the movie. I think it was like we were in an empty theater, a very tiny, small. We were sitting on the opposites of an aisle, just like yelling at each other the whole time, being stupid. I think maybe at the end we got up and we were drunk and we saw those two people like way up in front of that. But like, that freaked me out. But I remember, I like leaped up and yelped.
I literally leapt up and yelped. It was hysterical.
That was a really good scare.
It was.
Those movies, Insidious was fantastic.
Which you even saw coming. I mean, it's like, because they held on that.
They held on like some weird little like
closet.
It was like some weird little like creep in the bottom of the closet, like staring at her out of the closet for a really long time, which is also like already disarming. And then like another head pops up from above and like closes it and like
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
The second one was good too. Like you can argue
those movies honestly run together in my brain. I can barely distinguish them.
I mean, that was the point though, because I think they take place like
it's concurrent. Yeah.
The one thing I do remember about the second one is they moved to a different house. Or
it was
something.
time travel, and the husband was being controlled.
Right, and then by the weird rich lady, and then also the main villain was. And at this point too, looking back at it, it's very problematic. With the transgender man, or whatever, that his mother, which was a very sleepaway camp.
It was a weird, it was seeming like a weird old lady haunting the main guy in the first movie, but then we find out that was somebody who was like forced to do this by his parent.
His parent forced him to be a girl, so he became psychotic. Which again, that's problematic because that's demonizing actual transgenderism, which is not
Of course, yeah. That's a whole like giant. You can go into deep into that about like transgender badly portrays and horror stuff.
The more I learn, like
it's all
Sleepaway Camp.
Of course,
fuck that movie. That is a horror franchise that I despise. I
Really?
only seen the first one. I hated it so much.
Really?
Yes.
I love Sleepaway Camp. That movie's insane.
Movie Garbage. The name itself came because I was live tweeting on Facebook about how much I hated that movie.
Dude, that movie.
And you said, you're like, you should live tweet on Twitter about it. And it was between Movie Garbage and like trash films or something stupid. Movie Garbage is the better one. I'm like, all right. And I literally I
love that movie. Dude, that movie is so insane.
I watched Howard the Duck when tweeted about it.
That fucking movie sucks.
Under the Cherry Moon, which also won a Razzie. Same year at Howard the Duck.
I don't remember it. I don't think
it's a Prince movie.
Okay. That's why I don't remember it.
I did a random like TV film from the 80s that was awful, like something with a swamp thing.
Oh god.
It was like literally the monster shows up for like the last 2 minutes. You see it for like 30 seconds.
Those are always terrible.
It just like you keep hinting at it. It pops up. It looks like a fucking paper mache alligator ball head, and it just jumps up, grabs the villain, jumps into a water, and that's it.
Sounds terrible.
It was so bad.
But yeah, the horror genre is absolutely wonderful. I can't wait. It's like I said, we're recording this October 30th. I'm gonna watch a ton of horror movies tomorrow. God, it's a great genre. This movie wasn't for me, but bad taste. But I appreciated it. I went for what it was. Mm-hmm. Good to wrap up.
I think we're good to wrap up. So
All right.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter. Hit us up. Like that art. Watch my streams. Buy his book.
Yeah, do all that stuff.
So, and watch lots of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Watch episode 3, then watch 2, and then watch 7, and then watch 8, and then say go fuck yourself to 9, and go fuck yourself to 1, and then watch Mandalorian, then watch Clone Wars, then watch Rebels, and then watch Bad Batch.
Yep. Don't forget Rogue One and Solo.
Oh, yes. Don't forget those as well.
And don't forget to read all the novelizations of all 9 movies, as well as play all the video games canon,
yes, KOTOR
canon or otherwise.
1, KOTOR 2. Subscribe to the Old Republic and play through all of those, through all the storylines.
Oh, of course, yeah. Freaking play Battlefront 2, the new one. I like it. I'll defend it all day. Fuck
next
Ben.
Week, and then
Fallen Order 2.
And then a week from today, when we record the next version, you'll be and release the episode a week later. So 2 weeks, you'll be prepared.
Yeah.
After doing all that,
You'll know what you'll need to do. Go do it.
Oh, don't forget all the extended, technically not canon, but also sort of canon, extended universe
Legends,
stuff.
sure. If you want, go ahead and check out Legends. You ready?
I think we should probably end it out right now.
Hopefully, but this is longer than our goddamn Snyder Cut movie episode. It's already way longer than the goddamn movie we watched.
Yeah.
And probably, I think, proportionally, we spent more time not talking about the movie than the movie for the first time ever. In Action 2 Bros. And we're too tipsy. It's too long. In movie garbage history.
We've only had one beer apiece, too.
I know, right? We'll be from talking about a thing so much. It's a long conversation. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally our car rides.
Yeah.
We talk about one thing and we branch off into completely other things. So, welcome to Movie Garbage, the podcast where we just talk in the car, but not in the car.
Buddy talk, just rambling. That's good podcasting right there. Ready?
Yep. All right. So until next time, oof, ma goof. Splatter porn.